In this quiet moment, as you begin to settle into stillness, allow yourself to arrive fully. Set aside the day's momentum, the thoughts trailing behind you, the things yet to be done. For now, there's nothing you need to hold on to. You're here exactly as you are, and that's enough. Tonight, you'll listen to stories. Ancient stories. Simple stories. Yet they hold something timeless. In Zen, these tales aren't told for entertainment. They're offerings, gentle invitations to see differently, to loosen the tight grasp of expectation and control. And in these stories, you may begin to sense a deeper rhythm beneath the surface of your life. A rhythm that asks nothing from you but openness. To let go doesn't mean to lose. It means to release your grip on what no longer serves, to create space where clarity can return. So often, we carry the weight of things we no longer need: judgments, regrets, plans, comparisons, identities worn thin from repetition. Letting go isn't giving up. It's laying down the burden, if only for a while, and finding rest in what remains. As you listen, you may notice the mind wanting to analyze, to grasp for meaning. That's natural. But you're invited to experience these stories like drifting clouds, passing through the sky of awareness. You don't need to remember them. Let the images and insights settle as they will. Some might linger, others will dissolve before you notice them leaving. The idea of non-attachment can seem abstract, even difficult. But it's not about detaching from life or becoming indifferent. It's about engaging with life fully, yet lightly. Like holding water in your palm, gentle, present, allowing. You're not here to fix anything. You're not here to become better. You're here to rest, to be. As night approaches, nature begins to release. The sun lets go at the sky. The leaves soften in the breeze. Even the earth exhales into shadow. And so we too can soften. We can lean into the rhythm of letting go, not as a loss, but as a return. A return to simplicity, to breath, to the space within where nothing is missing. Listening in this way can be its own kind of meditation. You don't have to sit upright or focus hard. Just lie back, close your eyes if you like, and allow the words to arrive like waves at the shore. There's no effort needed, no right or wrong way to receive, only openness. Before we begin, take a moment to check in with your body. Where are you holding tension? What parts of you are still gripping the day? Bring awareness there, not to force a change, but to notice. Sometimes attention alone is enough to invite release. Feel the breath as it moves in and gently out, again and again, like the tide, reliable, unhurried. Let this rhythm carry you. We'll begin now with stories that explore our desire to control. How often we try to manage outcomes, people, or even our own minds. These tales invite us to see the futility in that effort, and the peace that comes when we surrender it. Let yourself listen, as if nothing needs to be learned, as if all that's left to do is rest. In the stillness of night, there's a unique kind of permission granted. Permission to pause, to let go, to simply be. It's in this quiet space, where the world softens and distractions begin to fall away, that we can begin to notice what's been clinging inside. Our thoughts, our plans, our defenses, they all start to loosen under the gentle weight of awareness. Listening can be a form of resting, and resting in its deepest form is more than physical. It's emotional, mental, even spiritual. When we listen with our full presence, not trying to get anywhere, not trying to analyze, we give the mind space to untangle itself. We give the body permission to settle. Listening becomes not just something we do, but a way of being. You may find your attention drifting at times. That's perfectly okay. Let the words wash over you like the wind in tall grass, unforced, ungrasped. There is no need to hold on. Each moment comes and goes on its own, and there's peace in allowing that rhythm to unfold naturally. Right now, your only task is to listen, and even that isn't really a task. It's more like receiving. These stories, like smooth river stones, offer their presence. You don't need to judge them or look for meaning. Just notice what arises. Let yourself be touched, gently, by what resonates and let the rest pass quietly. It's helpful to remember that in Zen practice, insight rarely comes through striving. It often arrives when the striving stops, when the mind isn't chasing answers, but simply resting in the moment. That's the gift of listening at night, as you wind down. The stories can open something, not with force, but with invitation. So, how do we prepare ourselves to listen in this way? It begins with intention, a subtle inner bow that says, I'm here, I'm available. You might feel tension in your shoulders or your jaw, perhaps an undercurrent of restlessness in the belly. See if you can notice it, acknowledge it, and breathe around it. No pressure to make it disappear, just gentle attention. Now bring awareness to your breathing. Inhale, feel the expansion. Exhale, notice the softening. This rhythm has been with you all your life. You don't have to control it. You don't even have to understand it. Just let it move through you. If your thoughts start to wander, thinking about tomorrow or something someone said, or even whether you're listening correctly, that's okay. That's part of the practice too. Each time you notice, you're already returning. You're already present. Tonight's stories are not puzzles to be solved. They're more like mirrors. Sometimes they show us a reflection we didn't expect. Sometimes they show us nothing at all. But both are forms of truth. Even the silence between the words has something to offer. Allow yourself to lean into that space, to rest in what isn't being said. The beauty of Zen stories is in their simplicity. A few lines, a brief encounter, a question left unanswered, and yet, within that simplicity, there's depth, like the surface of still water that hides a vast lake beneath. Don't worry if a story feels strange or unresolved. That's part of its magic. Zen doesn't always lead you to clarity by direct means. Sometimes it nudges you from the side. If you're lying down now, feel the support beneath you, the weight of your body, the softness of your breath. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere to go. You are already exactly where you need to be. This practice of listening as meditation is ancient. In temples, in forests, in candlelit rooms, students would sit in silence while a teacher shared a story. And though centuries have passed, the stories haven't changed much. That's because the questions of the heart are timeless. How do we live without clinging? How do we love without holding on? How do we meet each moment with openness, even when it hurts? These are not questions that require answers tonight, but perhaps by listening, we begin to feel the answers living quietly inside us. So, as the night deepens and your breath continues to slow, know that you're entering a space where rest and reflection can intertwine. There's nothing to achieve here, only the soft unfolding of presence. Let the rhythm of the words carry you. Let the stillness in between hold you. And above all, let yourself be just as you are, unguarded, tender enough. We are ready to begin. There once was a farmer in a small village. One day his horse ran away. The neighbors came to console him, saying how unfortunate it was. But the farmer simply replied, maybe so, maybe not. A few days later, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 wild horses. The neighbors congratulated him on his luck. Maybe so, maybe not. The farmer replied again. Later, his son tried to ride one of the wild horses, but he was thrown off and broke his leg. The neighbors were full of sorrow. What misfortune, they said. And once more the farmer said, maybe so, maybe not. Weeks passed, and soldiers came to the village, drafting young men for war. The farmer's son was left behind due to his broken leg. The neighbors marveled at the turn of events. But again, the farmer only said, maybe so, maybe not. This story may sound familiar. It travels through cultures and generations. But what makes it so enduring is how it reveals something deeply human. Our desire to categorize everything into good or bad, success or failure, benefit or loss. And yet, reality often resists that kind of tidy labeling. Life is never that simple. A moment that feels painful may eventually reveal unexpected peace. A joy that feels secure might slip through our hands. The illusion of control comes from this desire to predict and shape outcomes. We try so hard to arrange our lives just right, to avoid pain, to maximize happiness. But like the farmer, we never really know where each thread leads. And when we live with that uncertainty, when we lean into it instead of resisting, something softens inside us. Notice how the farmer in the story does not detach from life. He still sees what happens, but he doesn't attach a fixed meaning to it. He holds experience lightly, allowing each event to unfold on its own terms. This doesn't mean apathy. It means trust. It means letting go of the demand for certainty and opening to the unfolding moment. So often we carry a mental checklist. What should happen? What shouldn't? How people ought to behave? What success should look like? And with every unmet expectation, we tighten, we resist, we struggle. But what if we let go of the list? What if instead of rushing to label every experience, we paused and allowed space for maybe so, maybe not? There's freedom in that pause. The mind doesn't have to work so hard. The heart doesn't have to brace itself. The body can relax into what is. Even in the middle of uncertainty, there can be rest. Think about your own life. How many moments once felt like setbacks, only to later reveal gifts? Or how many successes led to unforeseen challenges? When we zoom out, when we look at the long arc, we start to see that life dances in paradox. Sometimes the path wins in ways we can't anticipate, and often that's where the most meaningful growth happens. Letting go of control isn't giving up, it's giving in to the mystery, to the movement of life, to something greater than our plans. It's trusting that we don't have to micromanage the universe to feel okay. We can meet each moment as it comes, just like the farmer, aware, present, ungrasping. The next time something unexpected arises, a delay, a disagreement, a door closing, see what happens if you pause. See what happens if, instead of reacting, you whisper to yourself, maybe so, maybe not. It might not change the outer situation, but it might shift something inside. It might offer a breath of ease, a doorway to peace. As you lie here, preparing for rest, consider where you've been trying to control something. Maybe it's a relationship, a decision, an outcome. Let that surface gently. And then, see what it feels like to soften your grip, even slightly. You don't have to figure it out tonight. You don't have to fix anything. Just allow the possibility that this too could unfold in ways you haven't yet imagined. Allow yourself to rest in the wisdom of uncertainty. Like the farmer, trust that not knowing is its own kind of knowing. That what seems incomplete now may be quietly completing itself. Let go of needing every answer. Let go of needing to hold everything together. Let yourself be carried. Let the moment breathe. There was once a monk who lived near a great river. This river was wild in some seasons and still in others, but it always flowed. The villagers often came to the monk for advice, but instead of offering instructions, he would gesture toward the river and say, "Watch how it moves." That's all you need to know. At first, people were puzzled. How could a river answer their questions? But over time, those who spent hours sitting beside it began to notice. When it rained, the water rose. When the sun was strong, the river receded. Leaves floated on its surface, fish darted beneath. And yet, no matter what came, the river simply kept flowing. This story teaches us something fundamental about the nature of change and the illusion of control. Life moves, circumstances shift. We may try to build dams of certainty, shore up the banks of our plans, but in the end, life finds its course. And resisting that flow only leaves us wary. We spend so much of our energy trying to predict, to manage, to make sure nothing catches us off guard. But in doing so, we tighten ourselves against the very nature of being. Life is not static. It cannot be controlled like a set of instructions. It's more like that river, changing with the weather, responding to the moment, yet always returning to its movement. To flow with change means to trust that we don't need to know exactly what comes next. It means allowing ourselves to be shaped by what is happening, rather than fighting to keep everything the same. And in that surrender, there is freedom, there is rest. Consider the ways we resist change, clinging to routines, trying to preserve relationships exactly as they were, holding on to past versions of ourselves. We replay memories, relive decisions, retrace steps, but the river never flows backward, and neither do we, not truly. When we hold too tightly to what was, we miss what is. To live like the river is not to drift aimlessly, but to trust the current. To know that the path may twist and turn, yet still carry us forward. Even when we can't see around the bend, something is moving us onward. Something deeper than logic, more faithful than fear. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a river in motion. Can you hear the sound of water slipping over stone? The hush of the current weaving its way through the forest? Let that image settle into your mind like a lullaby. Let it remind you, you don't need to force the flow. You don't need to know the destination tonight. Maybe today brought uncertainty. Maybe you're facing a decision or standing in a place that feels unfamiliar. That's okay. Let go of needing to figure it all out right now. Imagine your thoughts as leaves on the surface of that river. They come, they go. They don't change the course of the water. The river carries on, and so will you. When we flow with change, we begin to see that much of our suffering comes from the attempt to resist what's already happening. We argue with reality. We brace against time. But what if, just for this evening, you let go of that struggle? What if you leaned into trust, not because you have all the answers, but because you're willing to be carried? There's a kind of softness that arises when we surrender to what is. We breathe more easily, our hearts open. We notice beauty we once overlooked, the color of dusk, the whisper of a breeze, the gentle rhythm of our own breath. You are not separate from this world of movement. You are not a fixed point, watching change from the sidelines. You are part of it, like a droplet in the river, like a leaf on the wind. You belong to the flow. Let yourself rest in that truth. Let your mind settle, knowing that it doesn't need to hold everything together. Let your body relax, knowing that it doesn't have to carry every answer. The river moves, so will you, and everything you need will arise in its time. There was a wise teacher who once told a story about a man crossing a river in a small, wooden boat. The fog was thick that morning, and as he neared the center of the crossing, another boat began to drift toward him fast. He shouted, waved his arms, tried everything to get the other boat to change course. But it didn't respond. It slammed into his, jolting him backward and knocking his belongings into the water. Furious, the man stood, ready to shout. But then he saw there was no one in the other boat. It was empty, unmoored, carried by the current. In an instant, his anger dissolved. There was nothing to blame, no one to yell at. And strangely, there was peace. That story has stayed with me. The first time I heard it, I thought about how often we react with frustration. Not because someone meant to hurt us, but simply because we assume they should have known better, tried harder, done something differently. We imagine an enemy, a fault, a face behind the blow. But what if the boat was empty? So much of our pain comes from the stories we attach to what happens. He shouldn't have said that. She should have cared more. They didn't see me, respect me, listen to me. We build these mental dramas, and in doing so, we carry a weight that wasn't necessary to begin with. When we see the boat as empty, we're no longer caught in the trap of personal grievance. We see events as they are, impersonal, unfolding in a vast and interconnected world. This isn't about being passive, It's about freeing ourselves from the tyranny of ego, from the false idea that everything is about us. Ego insists on taking things personally. Ego wants to be right, to defend its boundaries, to control outcomes. But what if you could let that go, just for tonight? What if, in this space of rest, you could loosen the grip of me and mine? What if the next time something bumped into your peace, you paused before reacting and imagined the boat was empty? This doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you stop walking over yourself. You stop making every irritation a reflection of your worth. You begin to breathe before building the story. In this stillness, you can begin to notice how often the mind clings to its sense of identity. It says, "I'm the one who was wronged," or "I'm the one who always has to fix things." But those are just thoughts. They rise and fall like ripples on water, and beneath them, there's something quieter, a spaciousness, a presence. When we let go of the need to be right or seen or in control, something else emerges, peace without a cause. Not because everything is perfect, but because we're no longer resisting what is. We're no longer tangled in our own reactions. Think about a time today when you felt tight inside. Was it a comment someone made? A look, an outcome you didn't want? Trace that feeling back and ask, what was I holding on to? What identity, what expectation, what story? And then ask, can I set it down even briefly? Imagine standing by a river again, watching a boat float past. You don't need to know where it came from or where it's going. You just watch it pass, and then it's gone. That's how we can meet our thoughts, our stories, our attachments. We don't have to jump into every one. We don't have to steer them. We can simply notice and let them drift. Tonight, let this be your practice. When a thought arises, don't rush to believe it. Don't climb aboard right away. Just notice. And if it feels heavy, ask yourself, is this mine to carry? If not, let it go. Let it move like the current. Let the boat be empty. You are not your anger. You are not your expectations. You are not even your thoughts. You are the awareness that sees, the stillness beneath the ripples, the open space where peace is always waiting. Let that be enough. There was once a Zen master who received a visit from a young man eager to learn. The man arrived with questions and ambitions, ready to absorb whatever wisdom the master would offer. The master invited him to sit and began to pour tea. Slowly, carefully, the warm stream filled the guest's cup, but the master kept pouring even as the tea reached the brim. The cup began to overflow, spilling onto the table, dripping to the floor. "Stop," the man cried. "Can't you see the cup is full?" The master paused and smiled gently. "Exactly," he said. "How can I show you anything if your cup is already full?" It's a short story, but one that speaks volumes about how we approach life, learning, and especially spiritual practice. We often carry our cup full of assumptions, expectations, beliefs, comparisons, even subtle pride. We come to each moment with a hidden agenda, ready to receive only what matches what we already believe. But to truly receive, we must empty the cup. Desire takes many forms. It's not just the craving for objects or pleasures. Sometimes it's the desire to be right, to be seen a certain way, to feel accomplished or enlightened. Even spiritual seekers can be swept up in the desire to let go, striving so hard to release that they grip the idea of release itself. Zen reminds us gently, striving is still clinging. Desire in its root form is not inherently wrong. It's a part of being human. The problem comes when we become attached to the outcome of our desire. When we believe that we will only be okay once we have the thing, reach the goal, receive the validation, feel a certain state. It's like chasing the horizon. The closer you think you get, the further it moves. So we run and run and run, never stopping long enough to question if what we're chasing is real or just a projection of the mind. The practice of letting go doesn't ask us to suppress desire. It asks us to see it clearly and to not be bound by it, to observe it arise, to feel its pull, and to gently unhook ourselves from the belief that we must act on it. A Zen master once said, "When you walk, just walk. When you eat, just eat." That simplicity is radical. We're so often walking while planning, eating while scrolling, resting while worrying. Even in moments of stillness, we're often seeking stimulation or looking for distraction. But imagine drinking tea and simply drinking tea, not improving, not achieving, not analyzing, just being with the warmth of the cup, the scent of the leaves, the taste on the tongue. That's presence. That's enough. We think we need more experience, more clarity, more stillness, more guidance. But what if the moment you're in is already complete? What if nothing is missing? This kind of contentment doesn't come from having everything, but from wanting less, or perhaps from wanting nothing at all. That doesn't mean apathy. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means that your peace is no longer held hostage by your desires. You can care, but not cling. You can act, but not grasp. You can move through the world with tenderness, but without attachment. Tonight, as you lie in stillness, see if you can release just one desire. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's the desire for something to be different. Maybe it's a desire for a feeling, or for someone else to act a certain way. Let it rise, acknowledge it, and then let it go like an exhale. What happens when you do that? Often a spaciousness opens up, a quiet, a sense of ease. That's the wisdom beneath the desire, the recognition that you already are what you've been seeking. Let that thought settle deep within you. You don't have to reach for peace. You don't have to chase after freedom. You are already in the stream. You are already home. Let the breath continue to soften. Let the body sink into the surface beneath you. No need to adjust or fix. You are enough right here, exactly as you are. Let the cup be empty. Let this moment fill it. A monk was once asked what enlightenment felt like. He paused, then replied, "Chop wood, carry water." At first, the answer sounds mundane, too ordinary, perhaps even dismissive. But the monk wasn't being vague. He was pointing to something most of us overlook, the sacred in the simple, the peace that arises not from escape, but from returning fully to the present. We spend much of our lives chasing after some other moment. We think peace lies somewhere down the road, after we finish the to-do list, after we get the promotion, after the noise quiets or the body heals. We think enlightenment is a rare, shimmering peak somewhere far above the ordinary, and that we must climb tirelessly to reach it. But what if it isn't above? What if it's right here, within the rhythm of the everyday, within the rise and fall of the breath, the weight of a mug in your hand, the feeling of warm water on your skin? That's what the monk was teaching. That presence is not something to earn or acquire. It's not a dramatic shift, but a quiet one. A subtle turning toward what's already happening, right in front of you. To chop wood and carry water is to meet the moment without resistance, not because the moment is exciting or pleasurable or different, but because it is, and that is enough. This doesn't mean we deny pain or pretend everything is perfect. It means we stop trying to leap over our experience in search of something more. We stop asking life to be other than what it is. In doing so, we free up the energy we've been using to fight reality, and we come home to ourselves. The irony is that when we stop chasing peace, we begin to feel it. Not all at once, not always brightly, but gently, in the background, like a low hum that's always been there. Tonight, you don't need to strive. You don't need to analyze your day or figure anything out. You don't need to stretch towards some better version of yourself. You are here. That's enough. Let yourself return to the ordinary, the feeling of the pillow beneath your head, the slow rhythm of breath, the gentle beating of your heart. These are not obstacles to peace. They are doorways. Sometimes we overcomplicate the journey. We think we need to fix ourselves before we can rest. We search for deeper teachings, better techniques, louder awakenings. But often the real shift happens in silence, in stillness, in repetition. You get up, you fold the blanket, you pour the tea, you breathe. This is life, and this is the practice. Chop wood, carry water. There's a kind of humility in that simplicity, a way of honoring each task without needing it to be special, a way of saying yes to what's in front of you, not because it meets your expectations, but because it's part of the path. Letting go of striving doesn't mean letting go of effort. It means letting go of the grasping, the idea that we must always be achieving, improving, becoming. It means finding peace in the doing itself, not in some far-off reward. Think of a time you were deeply present. Maybe it was walking in the woods, washing dishes, or holding someone's hand. Not a grand event, just a moment when time softened and you weren't thinking of the next thing. That's the space we return to in rest. That's the opening we allow when we stop trying to get somewhere else. Right now, feel your breath. There's no need to deepen it, control it, or count it. Just notice it. Let it come, let it go. That's enough. There is nothing missing in this moment. No mistake that needs correcting. No insight you're supposed to have before sleep. There is only what is, and your willingness to meet it with gentleness. Chop wood, carry water, lay down, breathe, let go. A Zen master once offered a visitor a simple cup of water. The visitor accepted it, drank, and said, "Thank you, but it's just water." The master nodded. "Yes, but are you truly tasting it?" This story sounds almost too plain to carry meaning, but that's the point. So often we overlook the present moment because we think it needs to be different to be meaningful. We assume that rest, clarity, or peace must be dramatic, must arrive like thunder, but more often it arrives like this, quiet, unnoticed, in a sip of water you barely taste. To truly taste the water is to be present with it, to not reach for something more complex or extraordinary, to let it be enough. The same is true for satisfaction. We're often taught that satisfaction comes from achievement, checking off goals, climbing ladders, chasing progress. But in Zen, true satisfaction doesn't come from what we attain. It comes from the quality of our attention, from our willingness to fully experience what is, without needing it to be anything more. This is why a Zen monk can sit in silence for hours and feel full. Why they can eat the same bowl of rice day after day and find contentment. Because it's not about what they have. It's about how they meet what they have. Tonight you're invited to do the same, to meet this moment, not the next one, not tomorrow, with your full presence, to let yourself drop the idea that rest or peace must feel a certain way. What if it's already here, right under your thoughts, waiting to be noticed? Try this. Bring your attention to something small, the texture of the blanket, the way your breath expands your chest, the distant hum of silence. Let your awareness soften around these things. Don't force it, just be curious. Just allow. There is a deep kind of richness available in this kind of presence. When we stop searching for something to complete us, we often discover that we were never incomplete, that the moment didn't need improving, it just needed our attention. The story of a cup of water reminds us that enough is not something you reach, it's something you recognize. And yet, this is hard for the modern mind. We've been conditioned to seek more, to believe that happiness lies somewhere in the distance, that once we finish the list, fix the floor, reach the goal, then we'll rest. But Zen whispers the opposite: rest now, before the task is done, before the answer arrives, before the conditions feel perfect. Rest in this breath, in this pause, in this moment that asks nothing of you. Let go of the idea that your worth is tied to doing. Let go of the belief that satisfaction has to be earned. What if this moment is enough? What if you are enough? This isn't something to believe. It's something to feel, to taste, like water on your tongue when you stop long enough to notice. There is a kind of joy in simplicity, in the quiet rhythm of being. We're just not often trained to see it, but it's always here, waiting beneath the noise. So tonight, as you rest, let yourself come home to the ordinary. Let satisfaction rise, not because something impressive has happened, but because nothing needs to happen. You are breathing, you are listening, you are present. That is enough. Let yourself sink into that knowing. Let it settle deep in the body. There is no story to finish, no conclusion to reach, just the gentle unfolding of now, like a sip of water. A young student once asked a master, "How can I ever become enlightened?" The master replied, "Do you hear the stream outside the temple walls?" The student paused. "Yes," he said. "Then return to that," the master answered. "Return to that." This teaching points us towards something deeply liberating, what Zen calls non-striving. It's a path that asks us not to achieve, but to return. Not to reach towards something beyond us, but to rest more fully in what is already here. Striving is one of the most subtle and persistent habits of the mind. Even in our spiritual lives, even in the search for peace, we strive. We set goals for presence, pressure ourselves into mindfulness, judge our own restlessness, measure how still we are becoming. But the very act of striving takes us out of presence. We trade the simplicity of now for the promise of later. We believe that peace is somewhere else, waiting for us to improve enough to reach it. Zen invites us to flip this pattern on its head, to realize that peace is not a prize to be earned, but the default state beneath all striving. The more we chase it, the more it eludes us. But when we stop chasing, when we let go of the effort to be better, something shifts. We return to the breath, return to the hum of the moment, return to the sound of the stream, whatever the stream may be for you. It could be the rhythm of your own breathing, the rustle of a tree beyond your window, the softness of a blanket. These are not distractions, these are invitations. Striving says, "I need more." Returning says, "I already have." The difference is subtle, but transformative. Think about how often you push through the day, checking, managing, adjusting, perfecting. Even in moments that could be restful, the mind looks ahead. It asks, "What next?" It whispers, "Not yet." But there comes a point when striving becomes exhaustion, when the soul longs not for answers, but for silence, not for success, but for surrender. This moment right now is that invitation. So if your mind is still reaching, still trying to do this right, it's okay. Let it, and then see if you can gently return back to the breath, back to sensation, back to the sound of stillness that's always been here. Non-striving doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop believing that effort is the only way to arrive. Sometimes, resting is the most powerful practice. Sometimes, the way forward is the way back. Let your thoughts be clouds. Let your breath be the wind. Let the need to get somewhere dissolve into the peace of being nowhere in particular. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. There is no better version of you waiting on the other side of this moment. There is only now, and your willingness to rest in it. Feel the body just as it is. Notice the weight of your limbs, the way they are held by the surface beneath you. Let go of effort. Let go of adjusting. Let stillness arrive naturally, like dusk settling over a quiet field. If thoughts arise, let them float through. If emotions visit, welcome them like rain. But know this, you are not the thoughts. You are not the emotions. You are the awareness that notices. You are the space they pass through. The stream is always flowing. Return to that. Let go of the need to name, define, or judge this experience. You are not here to succeed. You are here to be. There is nothing more sacred than this. A monk once asked his teacher, "What is Zen?" The teacher replied, "When hungry, eat. When tired, sleep." At first, this may seem overly simplistic, maybe even evasive. But in truth, this response carries one of the most profound teachings in all of Zen. It is an invitation back into the present moment, into life stripped of performance, pretense, and striving. An invitation to fully experience what is, to find satisfaction not by achieving something new, but by being completely here for what's already happening. In the West, we're often conditioned to search for more meaning, more stimulation, more insight, more intensity. But Zen gently reminds us that the depth we seek is often hidden in plain sight. We overlook it precisely because it looks so simple. To sleep when tired is not just about physical rest. It's about letting go of the inner noise that tells us we should be doing more. It's about surrendering the idea that peace must be earned, or that rest is something we have to justify. It's about trusting that our most basic, most natural states, like hunger, tiredness, and breath, can be enough. Can you allow yourself to rest, truly rest, without the need to first become someone else? Without needing to solve something, fix something, or become a better version of yourself? That's the question at the heart of this moment. There's a kind of radical gentleness in returning to the present, a softness that unfolds when you release the belief that this moment should be anything other than what it is. And in that release, there is spaciousness. There is room to simply be. Tonight, see if you can give yourself permission to release even the idea of self-improvement. Let go of the voice that wants to measure your progress, the one that whispers you should be feeling more peaceful or more still. You don't need to feel any particular way. You don't need to achieve a perfect state. You're not here to perform rest. You're here to experience it. Let your breath rise and fall just as it is. Let your body settle without changing anything. Let your thoughts come and go without holding them. You don't need to force quiet. You don't need to silence the mind. You only need to let the moment be. And if you find your attention drifting, that's not a failure. That too is part of the rhythm. Awareness returns like the tide, gently, naturally, without judgment. What would it feel like to truly rest in the ordinary? To be nourished by what's already present? To find beauty in what's unadorned? There is a deep nourishment in simplicity, in a breath taken without resistance, in the heaviness of your limbs melting into stillness, in the quiet rhythm of life unfolding without effort. The path of Zen is not about attaining something far off. It's about seeing clearly what is already here, and in that seeing, letting go. So tonight, let that be your practice, not a technique, not a discipline, just a soft allowing. When hungry, eat. When tired, sleep. When lying down, rest. There is nothing more required of you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not missing anything. You are already home. There's a well-known Zen story about a monk who asked his master, "What is the path?" The master responded, "Walk on." Simple, direct, and yet deeply mysterious. The path in this teaching isn't something we find or create. It isn't waiting in the future, behind a mountain or after some revelation. The path is what's under your feet right now. It's the ordinary, quiet, unnoticed moment you're already living. It's the cup you wash, the floor you sweep, the breath you take. Zen invites us into that reality, to recognize the sacred in the simple, and to release the need for every moment to be extraordinary. We walk not to arrive somewhere new, but to be where we are, fully. This is where satisfaction begins, not with more, but with presence. So often we move through our days feeling behind, as if there's a finish line we haven't reached, a version of ourselves we're supposed to become, a place of rest we've not yet earned. But what if there is no finish line? What if the path is not something to complete, but something to be walked with awareness? What if the act of walking, of showing up to each breath, each step, each moment, is itself the practice? That's the wisdom behind Walk On. It reminds us not to get stuck in overthinking, not to wait for perfect conditions, not to hold our breath until everything is figured out. The path becomes clear by walking, and walking begins here. When we release the need to arrive, we begin to feel a sense of peace we didn't know we were missing. The pressure lifts, the mind softens, the heart begins to rest. You're not behind, you're not late. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Tonight, that path leads into rest. Right now, in this moment, your journey asks only one thing of you: to be here, to let your body settle, to let your breath guide you inward, to let go of needing to accomplish anything at all. If the mind begins to plan or wander or analyze, gently bring it back to the body. Notice the way your chest rises with each inhale and sinks with the exhale. Notice the weight of your body supported without effort. Notice the sound around you, the quietness, or perhaps a gentle hum in the background. All of this is part of the path. There is no need to escape or transform the present. It holds everything you need. This moment is not a stepping stone to something better. It is the arrival itself. And as you lie here, let this truth settle deeply into your being. You are not here to achieve peace. You are here to remember it. It was never far away. It only got buried beneath the noise of striving. Now is the time to let go, to return to simplicity, to feel your way back into the body, into breath, into stillness, to walk on, not forward, not backward, but inward, into yourself. There is nothing to do. Just be. You are already enough. You have already arrived. In the early hours of a spring morning, a student sat beside their teacher beneath the old cedar tree. A faint mist clung to the ground. The student asked, "How do I become free?" The teacher didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached into his sleeve and brought out a single white feather. He let it go, and the breeze carried it gently through the air. They both watched in silence as it drifted, dipped, and eventually settled on the ground without a sound. That was his answer. To the student, it may have seemed cryptic, but over time, the meaning revealed itself. Freedom isn't about rising above the world. It's about learning how to fall with grace, to be light in the face of life's weight, to release attachments, not out of cold detachment, but out of deep understanding. Attachment, in the Zen view, is the root of our inattention. Not because having desires or emotions is wrong, but because clinging to them creates friction. We try to hold on to what can't be held. Ideas, identities, outcomes, relationships. And in that holding, we suffer. Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we care without grasping. It means we experience life without needing it to meet our every expectation. Think about how the feather fell. It didn't resist the wind. It didn't force its path. It let itself be moved. And in that surrender, there was beauty, stillness, peace. Tonight, you can practice being like that feather. Begin by noticing where you're holding on. Noticing is enough. Maybe it's a thought you keep circling back to, a plan you're replaying, a worry that won't release its grip. Don't try to force it away. Instead, soften your awareness around it. Give it space. Let it exist without pushing or pulling. What happens when you don't fight the thought, but also don't follow it? When you observe it gently, the way you'd watch a cloud pass overhead. In that spaciousness, letting go begins to happen naturally. Sometimes, the attachments are subtle. We cling to the idea of being productive, or to an image of who we think we're supposed to be. Even in rest, the mind may whisper that we should be doing more, that we should be farther along. But who is measuring? And by what standard? Zen doesn't ask you to give up your life. It asks you to meet it with less resistance, to hold it lightly. Like a feather, letting go is not an event, it's a practice. It's something we do breath by breath, moment by moment. You may find that as you listen, your body begins to soften, that a part of you didn't realize was clenched has started to relax. This is what happens when the mind starts to release its grip, let go of needing the moment to be different. Let go of needing to feel a certain way. Let go of the pressure to be peaceful. Even that is a kind of clinging. Instead, simply be. Trust that whatever is here is enough. That nothing more is needed. That your worth isn't measured by how calm your mind is, but by your willingness to meet it with kindness. Let your breath come in, let it go out. Notice how it moves through you without effort, without demand. It just flows. That's how your life is too. Even when it feels complicated beneath it all, there's a rhythm, a current, a quiet return. The teacher didn't tell the student what freedom was. He showed it, in silence, in the letting go. So now, let yourself do the same, let go, and rest. A student once asked a master, "Where does the self go when we stop thinking about it?" The master paused, then said, "It goes nowhere. It was never truly there." In Zen, this is not a riddle to be solved with logic. It's a reflection, a mirror pointing back to the root of much of our tension. The way we cling to identity, the way we carry ourselves through life like a nameplate, polished and protected, trying to make sure it's always seen the right way. But what if the self, as we think of it, is more like a costume? Something we've worn for so long, we've forgotten it's not our skin. This isn't about erasing your personality or pretending you don't exist. It's about loosening the grip around who you think you have to be. It's about softening the edges of your story and finding the space between the roles. We spend so much energy performing for the world, being the helpful one, the smart one, the strong one, or maybe the misunderstood one, the quiet one, the one who always shows up. These roles aren't bad, but when we cling to them too tightly, we forget there's something deeper, something beyond the script. Zen calls this deeper presence, original face, the part of you untouched by opinion, history, or name, the you that exists before labels, before memory, before story, the you that remains when everything else is set down. Can you feel that version of yourself now? Not in the details, but in the silence underneath. The awareness that's been with you your entire life. The presence behind the thoughts. The part of you that watches without needing to act, without needing to prove. As you lie here, allow the roles to dissolve. You don't have to be the responsible one right now, or the one who knows what to say, or the one who gets things done. Let those masks rest on the floor like clothes after a long day. You're not throwing them away, just setting them aside. Beneath all of that, you're still here, breathing, feeling aware. That's what remains when identity fades. Not emptiness, but presence. It's a relief, really, to not have to hold up the structure of who we think we are, to just be, without needing to perform. Like sitting in a room after the guests have gone, the noise has passed, and all that's left is stillness and space. You might notice a kind of vulnerability here. That's natural. When we let go of our identity, even briefly, we feel exposed. But that rawness is not weakness, it's honesty. It's what makes connection possible. Connection with ourselves, with others, with life itself. In that space, there's no need to hide, no one to impress, no fixed image to protect. Just this breath, this moment, this open field of being. Let the stories soften. Let the labels fall away. You are not your title, not your past, not your pain, not even your thoughts about who you are. You are the one who notices, the one who listens, the one who is still here, beneath it all. Let that truth settle into you like warm light. You don't need to become anyone tonight. You already are. A monk once stood beside his teacher and asked, "What is the nature of the self?" The teacher said nothing. Instead, he pointed to the moon reflected in a still pond. The monk waited, confused. Finally, the teacher whispered that this story is a gesture toward one of Zen's most elusive and liberating teachings: emptiness. Not emptiness as in void or absence, but emptiness as in spaciousness, as in freedom from fixed form, as in the moon appearing clearly and fully in the water, yet never truly landing there. always present, yet untouched. Our sense of identity is often shaped like that reflection, seemingly solid, familiar, shimmering with memory and experience. But when we look more deeply, we find that it changes, it shifts, and when we try to grasp it, it slips through our fingers like water. This is not a mistake. It is the very nature of things. Zen reminds us that clinging to identity is like trying to capture the moon in your hands. You don't need to hold it. You only need to see it, let it shine, and be at peace with the way it comes and goes. This teaching of emptiness is not something to fear. It's a spaciousness that frees us from having to always be someone. It allows us to stop shaping ourselves for approval or belonging. It gives us permission to simply be, to move and respond moment to moment, without being bound by the past or limited by expectation. Think of how much pressure we carry just trying to be a certain way, to live up to a name, a story, a standard we may not even believe in anymore. But in the view of emptiness, we're not here to maintain a perfect image. We're here to meet life with openness. Like the surface of a calm lake, we can reflect everything around us without becoming it. This doesn't mean becoming detached or numb. It means learning to live without always identifying with what passes through us. Thoughts come, emotions rise, circumstances shift, and we witness them, respond with care, and let them go. You are not what you think. You are not what you feel. You are not what you've done. You are the space in which all of it moves, and that space is clear. It is calm, it does not cling. Let yourself rest in that space now. Let your body be easy. Let thoughts rise and fall without needing to chase or suppress them. If something difficult arises, notice how it appears, and also how it eventually fades. Everything does. Even the sense of I shifts from moment to moment. Sometimes it feels solid, other times scattered. Sometimes we feel like the one who speaks, sometimes the one who watches. All of it is part of the unfolding. Emptiness means we're not stuck in any one version of ourselves. We can be fluid. We can change. We can respond. That's freedom. That's life. And in this freedom, there is peace. Not because we've figured it all out, but because we've stopped needing to. We stop grasping at what is always moving and begin to rest in what simply is. So tonight, rest in this truth: you are not a fixed thing. You don't need to protect or perfect the image of who you think you are. You can let it dissolve, even if only for now. You can breathe without a mask. You can sleep without a name. You are like the moonlight on still water, beautiful, present, and free. Let go and return to that reflection. Let yourself be soft. Let yourself be unformed. Let yourself rest. There's a Zen story that tells of a monk who approached his master and asked, "What happens when time disappears?" The master smiled and said, "You realize it was never there to begin with. In our ordinary lives, time feels like a constant companion, sometimes supportive, sometimes oppressive. We plan around it, race against it, measure our worth with it. But Zen encourages us to look deeper, to ask what is time really, and what happens when we stop treating it as a ruler and begin experiencing it as space. At night, when things grow quiet, you may already sense it, that loosening of the clock's grip. Minutes no longer chase each other. Hours lose their sharpness. What remains is presence, not the ticking of time, but the soft unfolding of this breath, this heartbeat, this moment. Letting go of time doesn't mean abandoning your life. It means remembering that you are not your schedule. You are not your age. You are not how much you've done today. You are something far deeper, something that breathes outside the limits of hours and deadlines. Imagine standing beside a stream. You don't rush the water. You don't count the ripples. You simply watch it move endlessly, without beginning or end. That's what it's like to live without being ruled by time. You still move. You still respond, but you're no longer bound. Time is a story we tell to organize our lives. It's useful, but it's not everything, and when we forget that, we suffer. We think we've lost too much time, or wasted it, or failed to use it wisely. We feel behind, rushed, incomplete. But who is measuring? Right now, in this stillness, there is no deadline, nothing to miss, nothing to prove. You are not late for your life. You are not running out of time. You are arriving in it. This moment is timeless, if you let it be. And in this moment, there is space to breathe, to soften, to remember yourself not as a name on a calendar, but as a being, alive, aware, and free. Take a breath now. Let it move through you slowly, not because you're supposed to feel something special, but because this breath right here is real, and it's happening outside of your schedule. It's not on your to-do list. It's not asking anything of you. Feel the exhale. Let it lengthen. Notice how the body knows how to rest, even without instruction. You don't have to hold up the day anymore. You don't have to keep track. Let the hands of the clock fade. Let the timeline dissolve. What's left is this you. Breathing, not in the past, not in the future, just here. The present moment is not a fragment between two others. It is not a brief flash between what was and what will be. It is all there is. It is where everything happens and where nothing needs to happen. You are not bound by what time says you should be. You are not confined to the roles of yesterday. You are not expected to become tomorrow. You can be now, and now, and now. Notice how that feels. Like water settling in a still bowl. Like a sky without a clock. Like the hush of night slowly brushing against your skin. There is no rush. Let go of the race. Let yourself fall into the moment as if it were a warm, endless ocean. Because in truth it is, and you have all the time in the world. A monk once asked his master, "How do I find peace when everything keeps changing?" The master answered, "Stop trying to hold the river still." It's a simple reply, but it holds a deep truth. Life flows. Things change. The seasons, our bodies, our emotions, our relationships, everything shifts. And yet we often struggle against that current. We try to hold on, to freeze the moment, to lock down what feels good or familiar. But the more we cling, the more resistance we create. Like standing knee deep in a stream and trying to dam the water with our hands, all we end up doing is tiring ourselves. Zen teaches that true peace doesn't come from controlling change. It comes from learning to move with it. Imagine the sound of rain falling. You don't tell it when to start or stop. You don't choose where each drop lands. You just listen. And in that listening, something softens. Something lets go. Tonight, see if you can listen to your own inner landscape with the same openness. Notice how your thoughts shift, how emotions rise and fade, how even the tension in your body moves like waves. There's no need to fix it. Just observe, just allow. Change isn't something to fear. It's the rhythm of life itself. It means things are alive, breathing, unfolding. When we accept change, we stop bracing against the moment. We stop holding ourselves apart from the flow, and in that release, we discover a surprising calm. Not because life has stopped shifting, but because we've stopped resisting it. Take a moment to feel into your body. Is there something you've been holding tight? A hope, a memory, a fear of what comes next? Can you breathe into that space, not to get rid of it, but to give it room? Often, when we make space, what feels heavy begins to lighten. We realize we don't have to carry the whole river. We only need to float. There's a kind of grace in impermanence. The cherry blossoms bloom not in spite of their short life, but because of it. The night sky shifts, and no star stays in place forever. We are part of that dance, always changing, always returning, always beginning again. This doesn't mean letting go is easy. Sometimes it feels like grief, sometimes it feels like fear. But even those feelings are part of the river. Even they are meant to move. What would it feel like to surrender to that movement? To let the day go, not because it was perfect, but because it's over. To let sleep come, not as an escape, but as a return. To trust that you don't have to hold on for life to keep unfolding. Rest in that trust now. Let the breath be your guide, coming in, going out, like waves along the shore. You don't have to do anything, just feel it. Let each breath carry away what no longer needs to stay. Let each exhale soften the edges of holding. There is nothing wrong with wanting things to stay, but peace lives in the letting go. The more we allow change, the more we feel held by something greater than control. A rhythm, a pulse, a quiet intelligence that knows how to carry us, even when we don't know the way. So tonight, give yourself permission to float, to not have the answers, to not hold the river still. Let go of needing to know what's next. Let go of needing to understand. Let everything change and find your rest within the flow. There's an old Zen story of a monk who sat beneath a tree during a heavy storm. The wind howled, rain lashed the branches, and lightning cracked the sky. Another traveler ran past him shouting, "Why are you just sitting there? Aren't you afraid?" The monk simply replied, "The storm is only a storm." This story isn't about denying fear or pretending things don't shake us. It's about changing our relationship to what's uncomfortable. Often, what causes the most pain isn't the thing itself, but our resistance to it, our judgment of it, the way we tighten around it and try to push it away. The storm, in this story, becomes a metaphor, not just for outer chaos, but for inner resistance, for all the ways we reject the present moment because it doesn't match our preferences. The monk doesn't fight the storm. He also doesn't run from it. He just stays with presence, with breath, with openness. This is what it means to release judgment. It doesn't mean you stop noticing. It doesn't mean everything becomes neutral or bland. It means you stop clinging to good or bad, right or wrong, fair or unfair. You allow the moment to be what it is, even if it's messy, imperfect, uncomfortable. Think about your day. Were there moments where you felt frustration or disappointment? Maybe something didn't go the way you planned. Maybe someone said something that rubbed against you. These experiences are normal, but often, it's not the experience itself that keeps echoing. It's the judgment that follows it. Zen invites us to meet experience more directly, without the extra layers of narrative, without adding the story that this shouldn't be happening, or that something is wrong with us for feeling the way we do. Releasing judgment means returning to curiosity. It means softening into the unknown. It means sitting with the storm, not to change it, but to truly see it. Take a moment now. Bring to mind something that felt heavy today, a moment where you judged yourself or someone else. Notice how your body responds just by recalling it. Maybe a tightening in the chest, a clenching in the jaw. Now breathe into that space, not to fix it, not to erase it, just to notice it, to bring kindness to the place that hurt. And now, what happens if you let go of the judgment? Not the awareness, but the judgment. If you stop labeling it as wrong, and just let it be an experience that passed through. The shift might be small, a tiny bit more spaciousness, a little less tension, and that's enough. That's the beginning of freedom. The rain will fall, the wind will blow, but you don't have to build a wall against it. You can open a window. You can listen. You can feel the storm and stay rooted all the same. Judgment is like a filter we place over the world. It distorts the colors, makes things sharper, harsher, heavier. When we release it, even briefly, we begin to see again, clearly, gently, and this includes how we see ourselves. Let go of the judgment that you're not resting well enough, that you're not doing enough, that you should be more peaceful, more spiritual, more anything. Let go of the idea that there is a perfect version of you waiting somewhere beyond this breath. Instead, return to now. Let this be enough. You, lying here breathing softly. You, hearing these words not as instruction but as permission. You, exactly as you are, without labels, without criticism, without needing to change, just presence, just being, like the monk beneath the tree. Let the storm come, let it pass, and let yourself remain. Two monks were walking along a muddy road after a heavy rain. As they came around a bend, they saw a young woman trying to cross, unable to step over the thick puddles. Without hesitation, the elder monk lifted her in his arms, carried her across and set her down gently on the other side. She bowed in thanks. The monks continued walking. Hours passed. Finally, the younger monk burst out, "How could you have done that? We're not supposed to touch women." The elder monk replied, "I set her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This story is one of the clearest illustrations of how we carry memories, how our minds cling to moments long after they've passed. And often, it's not the event itself that creates the burden, but the weight of how we hold on to it. We all have moments like that young monk. We replay conversations, we rehearse arguments, we relive mistakes, and in doing so we carry things that no longer exist, as if they were still happening now. Zen practice invites us to release what we've already set down, to stop carrying what's no longer in our hands. Memory, like thought, is natural. But when it turns into rumination, it becomes a trap. Letting go of memory doesn't mean forgetting. It means loosening the attachment. It means allowing the past to be past. Imagine a cup filled with water. When it's still, you can see clearly. But the moment you start stirring, adding more, swirling it with a spoon, the surface becomes muddy. That's what happens when we keep stirring the past. We lose clarity in the present. Tonight, let this be your time to stop stirring. Let the surface settle. Let your thoughts slow, like fallen leaves drifting in water. You may find that certain memories rise as you begin to rest. Maybe something unresolved, something uncomfortable. That's okay. There's no need to resist it, but also no need to feed it. Let it appear and let it go, like a cloud passing across the sky. You don't have to name it. You don't have to solve it. Just acknowledge this too is part of the mind's movement. And I don't have to follow it. The practice is in noticing, returning, softening. If something lingers, ask yourself gently, am I still carrying this, or has it already passed? You might be surprised how often the answer is it's already over. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can put it down, you can let it rest. Memory has its place. It teaches us, connects us, shapes us. But it can also trap us in stories we no longer need, in identities we've outgrown, in regrets that don't serve healing. You are not your history. You are not the sum of every mistake or every triumph. You are the awareness that holds those stories. And you can choose to release them, breath by breath. Let the breath help you now. With each exhale, imagine the weight of memory falling away, not erased, just set down, like stones removed from a backpack, one by one. You don't have to carry them into sleep. This moment is new. This breath is new. And so are you. Let your body soften in this knowing. Let the past dissolve into silence. The road is here. Clear, open. Walk on light and free. In a quiet temple nestled high in the mountains, a young monk asked the abbot how to prepare the mind for rest. The abbot said nothing at first. Then he slowly reached for a broom, walked outside, and began sweeping the stone path. The monk followed, watching. After a few minutes, the abbot looked up and said, "Sweep the path, and you'll sweep the mind." There is something deeply grounding in simple action, in rituals done not to accomplish, but to settle, to clear, to bring us home. In Zen, preparing for rest is not just about sleep, it's about returning. Returning from the endless thoughts, from the tangle of the day, from the outer world, and stepping gently into stillness. We all carry clutter in the mind, small worries, passing regrets, half-finished thoughts, loops we never quite close. It builds without us noticing. The act of preparing for sleep can be like sweeping, not to get rid of everything, but to make space, to move gently through what has gathered, with awareness and care. Maybe your day was full, maybe it was quiet. Either way, it left traces. And before you fully let go, there's something sacred in taking a few slow moments to acknowledge what's been and let it rest. This doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need special words or techniques. Just bring awareness to what you're doing. That's the essence of ritual, not what you do, but how you do it. As you lie here, you might begin by noticing your breath, not to change it, just to see it. Let it be your first broom stroke. Let it sweep across the surface of the mind. Then bring your awareness to the body. Notice any place where you're still holding tension. The forehead, the jaw, the shoulders, the belly. Can you soften just a little? Can you let gravity do more of the work? With each breath, invite release. Not because you're trying to achieve a state, but because there's nothing more to hold. You might mentally review your day, not to judge, but to witness. Like watching clouds drift across the sky. Let each moment arise and then fall away. You don't need to fix anything now. You don't need to solve. Just observe, just sweep. And if a thought wants to linger, let it. But also give it room to move. Sometimes the mind just wants to be seen. Sometimes it simply wants to be heard once, and then it quiets. This gentle clearing is not about emptiness, but space. It's not about silence, but openness. You are preparing not just for sleep, but for deep rest. Rest that touches beyond the body, into the mind, the heart, the breath, and the awareness beneath it all. Feel the support beneath you. Let yourself settle into it. Let your edges soften. Let the stories of the day dissolve into the stillness of night. Even monks with years of training still sweep their temples. Not because the dust is dangerous, but because it gathers. And it's in the act of sweeping that they remember the present. They remember their place, they remember how to return. So sweep your mind now, gently, without urgency, without expectation, just return. Let everything that is unfinished be unfinished. Let the day rest where it is. You are not required to carry it into your sleep. The path is clear, the air is quiet. The broom has done its work. Now rest. At the edge of a forest monastery, as dusk settled into stillness, a bell would ring. Low, resonant, patient. The sound stretched through the trees like breath, calling the monks inward. Not with urgency, but with invitation. It was time to let go of the day. Time to return to silence, to rest. That bell wasn't loud, it didn't demand attention. But its tone had weight. It carried something ancient and familiar. The feeling that rest isn't a retreat, but a return. A return to what we've forgotten during the momentum of the day. A return to stillness not as an escape, but as home. Tonight, you don't need a bell. You have this moment. Let it ring softly in your awareness, a gentle signal that the outer world can fall away now. You don't need to respond. You don't need to reach. There is nothing outside this moment that requires your energy anymore. Let yourself come home. Sleep, in the Zen view, is not just a biological process. It's a sacred pause, a release of form, a surrender into the unknown. Just as breath comes and goes without effort, rest arrives when we stop chasing it, when we stop trying to hold the mind still, and instead simply stop holding. You've prepared well, you've listened, reflected, breathed. Now, the final gesture is this: to allow the day to end. Let the breath slow naturally. No control, no technique, just the body doing what it knows. Let your limbs grow heavier, not out of exhaustion, but because you're safe to let go. There is nothing to hold up, nothing to fix. Let the eyes grow softer. Let the forehead smooth. The thoughts may still rise. That's okay. Let them come like wind across tall grass, moving gently, then fading. You don't need to follow. You don't need to stop them. Just rest in the space between. And if emotion lingers, sadness, joy, uncertainty, let it be part of the moment. Let it have a place without overtaking you. Even the heart can rest when it is allowed to feel freely. Zen speaks often of non-resistance, not because we're supposed to be passive, but because we suffer when we try to stop what is already happening. So now, don't stop the night from arriving. Don't resist the quiet. Open to it. Rest doesn't require silence from the world. It only asks for silence within. A willingness to no longer argue with the moment. A soft agreement with what is. You might picture a candle burning low, flickering just once, then settling into stillness. Or a lantern on a windowsill, its glow steady waiting. That is you now, present, glowing softly. No urgency, no chase. This moment is not asking for effort. It is asking for trust. Trust that it is safe to release. That sleep will carry you without needing to be managed. That your breath knows the way. That your mind will soften when it is no longer asked to perform. You've done enough. You are enough. You can let go. And in this letting go, you enter the temple of sleep. Quiet, spacious, without form, without fear. Let the body float. Let the mind dissolve. Let the night take you. In a quiet garden just beyond the temple wall, a lantern burned low beside a wooden bench. A monk often came there at night, not to sit in meditation or prayer, but simply to watch the darkness, noticing how it moved, how it held the air, how it made space for rest. He would sometimes whisper, "Darkness has no shadow," as if reminding himself of something deeper than words. That phrase carries its own stillness. Darkness has no shadow in Zen. This is a gentle way of pointing to the truth that what we most fear or try to escape may not be as heavy as we think. We imagine the unknown will overwhelm us, that the dark will bring confusion or loneliness. But what if darkness is not emptiness, but openness? What if it's not hiding something, but holding everything? Let the night be a companion now, not as something to resist or shut out, but as something that welcomes you. You are not alone in it. You are part of it. Just as the moon doesn't need to shine to be whole, you don't need to feel bright to be complete. The mind often stirs in darkness. It wants to fill the space. It asks, what if? And what next? But you can answer with stillness, with the breath, with the quiet knowing that nothing more needs to happen. Let your awareness spread into the dark, not to find something, but to rest in not knowing. Let go of the need to define it. Let go of the habit of seeking form. Let yourself dissolve into the quiet that has no shape, no sound, no edge. This is not about disappearance. It's about rejoining the wholeness of the moment. It's about releasing the boundary between what's you and what's around you. Imagine the night as an open hand, soft and infinite. You are resting in its palm. You might feel thoughts come, or the faint pull of memory. That's natural. Just watch them from within the darkness. Don't resist. Don't follow. Just rest deeper and deeper. The light inside you is not separate from the dark around you. They are not opposites. They are part of the same unfolding. Yin and yang, day and night, breath in, breath out. There is nothing wrong with not seeing clearly. Some truths are felt only when the eyes close. Some comfort arrives only when we stop trying to hold the light. In this moment, there is only now, no roles to maintain, no goals to reach. Just awareness floating gently in the space between thoughts. You are not falling asleep, you are being held. There is nothing to achieve in this darkness. You don't have to illuminate it. You don't have to fight it. Just let it cover you like a soft blanket. Let it cradle your edges until the idea of separation fades. And as it fades, you may begin to feel what the monk felt sitting beside that lantern. Not fear, not loneliness, but peace. A kind of peace that comes not from understanding, but from surrender. A kind of peace that needs no light to be known. So let yourself rest in this truth. Let yourself be nothing for a while. Let yourself be everything, and let the darkness hold you completely. A student once asked a master, "How do I know if I'm awake, or if this is all just a dream?" The master poured him a cup of tea, handed it over, and said, "Drink carefully. Whether this is a dream or not, the tea is still hot. This story doesn't give an answer in the way the student may have hoped, but it offers something deeper, a pointer, a way to return to presence, even when the lines between waking and dreaming blur. Even when we're unsure what's real, what matters, or what's ours to hold. At night, as you lie here with your eyes closed, you may drift between thoughts and images, between stories your mind creates and sensations your body feels. The boundary between waking life and the dream world softens, and in that in-between, you begin to release your grip on control. You don't have to decide what's real right now. You don't have to figure out the meaning of everything that floats through the mind. You can just stay with the experience, drink the tea, feel the breath, notice the warmth, and rest inside it. Dreaming is not just something that happens to us. It's something we participate in. The mind, unbound by form, begins to speak in symbols, in stories that don't follow logic but follow feeling. In Zen, dreams are seen not as distractions, but as part of the path. A mirror showing us what we still cling to, what we still fear, what we still long for. But they are also reminders that none of it is fixed, that what feels true in one moment can shift like mist in the next, that we are more fluid, more spacious than we think. And so, tonight, let yourself enter that fluidity with gentleness, not trying to interpret or control your dreams, but meeting them with curiosity, allowing them to rise, to move, to dissolve. Just as with your waking thoughts, your dreams don't need to be judged. They don't need to be perfect. They don't need to make sense. You are allowed to simply experience them, to be in the river without needing to steer. Let the mind do what it knows how to do. Wander. Let it weave its own stories, even as your body lies still. You don't need to follow. You don't need to resist. Just trust the rhythm of rest. Trust that even in the dreaming, there is release. Some dreams may feel vivid. Some may pass through like shadows. Some may linger just at the edge of memory, like the echo of a bell fading before it's heard. Let them all be welcome. Let them all belong. You may find that sleep is not just the absence of waking, but the presence of a deeper awareness, one that watches silently as thoughts come and go, one that does not need the world to be orderly or understood. This awareness doesn't sleep, even when you do. It holds you in the background, steady and kind. It is the same awareness that watches during the day, when you pause to breathe or smile. The same presence that remains when everything else is changing. Let that awareness carry you now. Let it hold you as the edges of consciousness soften. As you slip into the quiet waters of sleep, the tea is still hot. This moment is still real. Whether it's dream or not doesn't matter. What matters is that you are here, resting, breathing, held. There's an old Zen tale about a man who dreamed he was a butterfly. In the dream, he fluttered through fields, landed softly on petals, felt the wind beneath delicate wings. It was peaceful, vivid, real. When he awoke, he sat up confused and whispered, "Was I a man dreaming I was a butterfly? Or am I now a butterfly dreaming I am a man?" It's a story that doesn't ask to be solved. It's not meant to confuse, but to awaken a deeper way of seeing. To remind us that identity is fluid, and that what we call real is often less fixed than we assume. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world becomes soft and porous, this story feels especially true. Right now, as you begin to slip between waking and sleep, between thought and dream, between memory and stillness, ask yourself gently, not with fear but with wonder, who is resting here? Not your name, not your role, not the one who carries responsibilities, answers questions, or remembers birthdays, just presence, just awareness, the watcher behind the thoughts, the listener behind the sound. Zen doesn't demand that you answer. It only invites you to listen, to feel what it's like to exist beyond description, to be breath without identity, space without story, a butterfly perhaps, or simply silence with form. This space, the one you're entering now, is where you can let go of all definitions, where there's no need to be the person you were today. You don't have to carry the words you spoke or the decisions you made. You can shed them like the shell of a dream. Let your body sink deeper now. Let gravity take over. Let the surface of thought grow still. You don't need to chase meaning. In the dream, meaning reveals itself without asking. It appears in colors, in feeling, in motion. That's how this rest can be too. Wordless, formless, full. And if dreams come tonight, whether strange or beautiful, soft or startling, welcome them. Not because they're true in the ordinary sense, but because they show you something about how your mind unfolds when it's not being watched, when it's free to create without control. There may be images, people, sounds, places you've never been and yet seem familiar. Let them pass through you like wind through an open field. Let them teach you something wordless. You are not the dream. You are not the dreamer. You are the space that holds it all. Let that be your resting place tonight. Not an answer, but a surrender. No butterfly to catch. No man to prove. Just breath. Just floating. Just now. And as you drift, allow yourself to remember, even in a dream, you are safe. Even in the absence of knowing, you are held. You don't have to understand. You only have to allow. Let go now. Let yourself become weightless, whether you are man, butterfly, or neither, it doesn't matter. You are here, and you are resting. In a forest temple nestled between winding rivers and moss-covered stones, a teacher once spoke as the sun began to dip below the horizon. Sleep, he said to his students, is not separate from meditation. It is the deepest bow you offer to the body and to the earth, but you must arrive in it. Not collapse into it, not escape into it, arrive. That word stayed with one of his students for many years. Arrive. How do we arrive at sleep? Rather than fall into it as if tripping through the threshold. The difference is subtle but profound. To arrive at sleep is to let yourself meet it with presence, with care, not as a break from life but as part of it, not an ending but a return. As you lie here now, feel into the idea that rest is not something that happens to you. It's something you participate in. Something that meets you halfway if you show up for it. Begin by noticing what it feels like to be lying down, not thinking about it, just sensing the pull of gravity through your legs, your arms, the weight of your head, the fabric beneath you, soft or cool, the air on your skin. This is how you arrive, not by forcing rest, but by noticing you're already surrounded by it. Let your breath become slower now, not by control, but by attention. Just witnessing it encourages it to settle. Inhale softly, exhale even softer, each cycle like a wave, smoothing out the sand beneath your thoughts. If the mind wants to keep going, spinning stories, reviewing the day, planning for tomorrow, greet it gently. Don't try to silence it, just thank it, and then choose not to follow. Each time a thought passes by, imagine it like a leaf drifting down a stream. You're sitting on the bank, watching it float, not reaching in. Even now, your body is beginning to shift into stillness. Your breath is becoming a lullaby. Your awareness is loosening its grip on doing. Fixing, planning. You are arriving, not going anywhere, just arriving more fully where you already are. The Zen path is often described not as a ladder to climb, but as a path that spirals inward, a deepening into what already exists. Sleep, too, is a spiral. It draws you into the quiet center of your being, into the part of you that doesn't need to prove or achieve or protect. There is peace there, not because everything is solved, but because nothing needs solving. Just like in meditation, you're not aiming for a blank mind, you're simply allowing space. The world will continue to turn, the wind will still move through the trees, but here in this space, you are outside the clock, outside the noise. You are in the rhythm of breath, the silence between thoughts, the softness of this moment. You are safe here. You are whole here. Let yourself drop even further into the body now. Notice your feet, release them. Notice your hands, let them fall open. Unclench the jaw, soften the brow, arrive a little more deeply. Let the muscles release into the earth. Let the day roll off your shoulders. Let even the idea of resting well dissolve. There is nothing to do now. No one to be, no goal to meet. You are here, breathing, sensing, letting go. This is the bow the teacher spoke of, not with hands but with heart. Not towards something, but into something. Let sleep find you now, open and still, present and free. You have arrived. There's a story from a remote Zen monastery where, each evening before sleep, the monks would gather in silence. One by one, they would enter the main hall, light a single candle, bow toward the wall, and sit in stillness. The ritual was simple. No chant, no formal closing, just one gesture, one flame, and then the quiet letting go of the day. A visiting traveler once asked the abbot, "Why no prayer, no final words?" The abbot answered, "Because rest is not something we ask for. It's something we remember." And that is what this part of the night invites you to do. To remember. Not by thinking, but by softening. Not through effort, but through release. You are not learning how to sleep, you already know. Your body remembers how to rest. It was built for it. Your breath knows how to slow. Your mind knows how to quiet, if given space. So now give it space. In the quiet of this moment, allow the edges of awareness to blur. Let yourself drift between wakefulness and sleep. The in-between place is not a barrier, it's a doorway. Let yourself hover there, not needing to cross it right away. There is no pressure here, no finish line to reach. This is the soft slope that leads you inward gently, gradually. Like walking through fog, no sharp turns, no sudden change, just deepening presence. Let your breath carry you. Feel it move like mist through the body. Feel the rhythm steady and kind. No rush, no demand, only ease. There may still be thoughts, memories, fleeting bits of the day. Let them come, let them pass. You don't need to hold on to them. Just as a candle flickers and settles into stillness, so too will the mind. It may take time, but it will come. You're not falling asleep. You're being carried. Let your limbs grow heavier now. Let each muscle soften without needing to be told how. Your body already knows. This moment asks nothing of you. There is no more to perform, no more to figure out, only presence. Feel the weight of your body. Feel how the ground holds you, without asking you to hold back. You are safe here, you are supported. Even your breath has begun to shift, hasn't it? Slightly deeper, slower, less managed. This is how the body thanks you for slowing down, for remembering that you are not just a mind or a schedule or a plan. You are a being, and beings need stillness. Let your awareness settle further, not away from the body, but into it, into the warmth of your chest, the quiet behind your eyes, the hush that fills the space when you stop looking for it. Rest is not a reward for productivity. It is not a break from your real life. It is your life too. It is the moment when everything unnecessary dissolves and all that's left is what is most true. Breath, stillness, warmth, being this moment. There is no need to track time now. There is only rhythm, breath and release. Inhale and soften, exhale and let go. The monks in the monastery never waited for silence. They entered it. They became it. That is your invitation too. Become the stillness you seek. Let it fill you. Let it carry you gently into the night. You are here. You are whole. You are already resting. In one of the older temples in the mountains, when evening came, the monks would light a single lantern and place it near the altar. Its glow didn't brighten the whole room, just a small circle of floor. And each night, the abbot would say, "Enough light to find your breath. That's all you need." It's easy to forget how little is actually needed for peace. We seek comfort in bigger answers, louder clarity, longer explanations. But often, what the body and mind really need, especially at night, is just one thing to return to. Something quiet, something steady, something enough, So now, return to your breath, not because you must control it, but because it's here, like that small circle of light. It doesn't try to push the dark away. It simply holds a space for rest. Let your attention gently settle there. Inhale slowly, exhale softly, noticing how with each breath, something inside you begins to soften. How the tension that was once gripping your shoulders, your chest, your hands, slowly lets go. You may have noticed by now the silence around you isn't empty. It's full of presence, full of space, full of the possibility to rest more deeply than before. You're not trying to enter this moment anymore. You're in it. If the mind drifts, you don't need to pull it back harshly. Just notice. Just return. Over and over, as softly as the lantern burns in that temple. There may still be thoughts. There often are. But they can move through without anchoring. You don't need to react. You don't need to resolve. The mind will spin less when it's no longer asked to control the moment, when it's allowed to rest too. And beneath the thoughts, beneath even your awareness of breathing, there is a deeper stillness, a place that does not rise and fall, a quiet that doesn't flicker. You don't have to seek it. It's already here. You only have to stop resisting it. Let your face soften. Let your eyes rest even behind closed lids. Let your jaw hang a little looser. Let the belly relax. Let the spine settle. You are not holding yourself up anymore. The bed does that. The earth beneath the bed does that. And even deeper, something unseen holds you completely. You are safe here. And in this safety, you can give everything back. Give the day back to the sky. Give your thoughts back to the wind. Give your striving back to the silence. Let this be your practice now, receiving the breath, receiving the stillness, receiving sleep not as a destination, but as a natural unfolding of presence. Nothing about this moment needs to be perfect. Rest is not a performance. It's not a ritual of exactness. It's the return to who you were before all the doing began. Feel into that now, before the lists, before the expectations, before the effort. You were just here, breathing, present enough. Let that be your anchor. Let it be your final thought. Not something to hold, but something to dissolve into. There is nothing more to seek, nothing more to reach. You have already arrived, and now you can rest. In the village below the temple, an old man once told a child, at night, the trees don't stop being trees, they just stop trying to be seen. And with that, he closed his eyes and smiled. There's something in that image worth holding. The idea that rest is not the end of being, but the end of effort. Not the fading of worth, but the quiet of no longer trying to prove it. You've spent the day, in one way or another, being seen. By others, by the world, by your own expectations. Even when alone, we often stand before our inner audience, rehearsing, reviewing, reliving. But now, this moment, you are like the trees after sunset, still full, still rooted, but no longer reaching for light. Let the performance end. Let the quiet return you to yourself. Feel your body, now not burdened, just surrendered. Released into the stillness of night, the way the earth cools after warmth, the way the ocean stills when the wind settles. This is the rhythm of return, the natural motion of letting go. Even your thoughts may begin to slow without effort. The internal narrator grows softer. The looping questions begin to loosen. You don't need answers here. You don't need direction. You only need the next breath, and then the next. Notice how your chest rises gently and falls, how your limbs are held by the softness beneath you. You are not required to explain or prepare. This moment asks nothing from you. You may still feel something stirring, a thought, a sensation, a subtle tension that hasn't released. Don't rush it, just notice, and with each breath, offer it the space to be. Sometimes we think we must quiet the mind to rest, but the truth is, the mind quiets when we stop trying to change it. Let it move. Let it wander if it must. Like leaves in a slow, moving river, You're not clinging to the bank anymore. You're not rowing upstream. You are floating. And in this floating, you may notice a kind of grace, a silent companion to stillness. The way moonlight touches everything without changing it. The way wind moves through branches without needing to be noticed. You too are being touched by stillness now, by quiet, by night. And just like the trees, you don't have to stop being you. You're simply resting the part of you that tries so hard to be understood. You don't have to be visible to be whole. You don't have to be active to matter. You don't have to hold on to be held. Let go now. Let yourself be unseen, not in disappearance, but in freedom. Freedom from doing, freedom from trying, freedom to simply be. As you lie here, wrapped in breath and silence, feel the vastness inside you. Not empty, just open, like a forest after the rain, like sky before the first bird stirs. This is you too still, present, rooted in the dark, full even now. Let sleep take you gently, not because you're done, but because you've returned. In the corner of a Zen garden, beneath the curved shadow of an old pine tree, sits a simple stone basin. Water trickles into it from a bamboo pipe, soft and rhythmic, drop by drop. It never rushes, it never demands attention, and yet over time, the water smooths even the roughest surface. The basin becomes polished, not from force but from constancy. From surrender to the flow, this too is your path now, not to force yourself into stillness, but to allow the rhythm of breath and the flow of presence to smooth the edges of your day, bit by bit, drop by drop. Feel it happening now. With every inhale, a softening. With every exhale, a settling. You don't have to make anything happen. You only have to stop resisting what's already unfolding. Let your awareness drift gently over your body. There's no need to fix or change. Simply notice. Let the sensation of the air brushing your skin be enough. Let the quiet weight of the blanket remind you that you're here and you're safe. You may notice areas that still feel tight. Perhaps in the chest, the shoulders, the belly. You don't have to force them open. Just breathe into them lightly, offer space. Just as water does with stone, let patience be the medicine. There is no right way to rest, no ideal shape to fall into. Let your body arrange itself as it wishes. Let the sleep posture emerge naturally, without instruction. Trust that your body knows what it needs and how to guide you home to it. Somewhere within you, there is a deeper wisdom, one that doesn't need to speak in thoughts, one that doesn't need to be heard aloud. It speaks in sighs, in the way you finally let your arm fall to your side, in the gentle way your eyes soften behind closed lids. That wisdom is alive in you now. You may begin to notice the space between thoughts becoming wider, like clouds thinning after a long rain. There's more sky now, more openness. Thought may still pass through, but it doesn't block the view. Let that openness hold you. Let the background quiet come forward. It doesn't ask for attention. It's not loud, but it's there, and it's steady. The kind of silence that listens to you, that welcomes you exactly as you are. Drop by drop, the noise of the day fades. The need to think, to name, to solve loosens. You are entering a place beyond language now. A place where the breath is enough, where presence is the only prayer. You might feel a sense of sinking now, not falling but releasing. Letting yourself be carried downward, gently into the warm and silent water of rest. Let gravity do what it does best. Let the earth cradle you. You've done enough for today. You are enough, just as you are. There is no struggle left to hold, no boundary to defend, only this moment, only this quiet flow. And in it, you are safe, you are whole, you are deeply, completely at rest. In the teachings of Zen, there's a saying, when walking, just walk. When eating, just eat. When sleeping, just sleep. Simple words, but in their simplicity lies a powerful invitation to let go of the layers we so often carry with us into each moment, to live fully one act at a time. And now, your only act is this: to rest, to sleep, not with resistance, not as an escape, but as an honest surrender, a return to a rhythm older than thought, older than words. You may not need to do anything more in this moment, just listen, just feel. Let the quiet take shape around you. Let it seep into the spaces between breaths, into the muscles that held your body upright all day, into the mind that tried so hard to understand. There is no need for understanding here, no effort, no striving, just presence. Feel how the stillness deepens as you rest in it, how the air grows heavier in its silence, how the world outside fades gently, not because it disappears, but because it's no longer asking for your attention. You can return to it later. You can return to the calendar, the questions, the conversations. But for now, those things are like coats hung at the door, set aside so you can be bare, so you can simply be. There is a softness that comes in this part of the night. It's not the softness of sleep yet, but the softness that makes sleep possible. A loosening, a warming, a dissolving of the tight outlines that define the self in waking life. Feel that happening now. With each breath, your shape becomes less rigid, less held, more fluid, as if your body is no longer made of lines and angles, but of clouds and wind. You are not disappearing. You are expanding. You are becoming part of the silence around you, part of the darkness that holds you, part of the still rhythm of this moment. And if the mind still wanders, if it returns to thoughts or images, meet it with kindness, with the same gentleness you'd offer a friend who cannot sleep, not trying to stop the mind, just walking it slowly back to the breath over and over with patience. There is no failure in this. There is only practice, only return, and each return is a deeper arrival. Feel the rhythm of your body sensing now with the quiet, your heartbeat slower, your breath softer, your skin warm. You may feel that sleep is very close, hovering just at the edge of awareness, or perhaps you are already in it, drifting between thought and dream. Wherever you are, it's enough. There is no goal to reach, only layers to let go of, only rest to receive. Let yourself become part of the night. Let yourself be cradled by it, like a wave becoming ocean, like a star dissolving into sky. Nothing is missing, nothing more is needed. You are already home. You are already whole. Let go. Let go. In one of the lesser-known Zen koans, a student asked the master, "What is the path to peace?" The master looked up, smiled faintly, and said, "Rest like the mountain. Let the clouds pass." At first, the student didn't understand. How can one rest like a mountain? Isn't a mountain unmoving, stoic, cold? But over time, he realized the teaching wasn't about resistance. It wasn't about stillness as stiffness. It was about presence, deep-rooted presence, the kind that remains while all else moves and shifts and passes above it. Right now, you are that mountain. Beneath the thoughts, the breath, the flickers of dream and memory, you are steady, grounded, held by the invisible strength of the earth beneath you. You do not need to move toward rest. You are already resting. Everything else is just cloud. Let the clouds come. Let the thoughts pass. Let the sensations drift like mist across your surface. You don't need to change them. You don't need to rise to meet them. Just remain. Just be. This is not effort. This is essence. The essence of what it means to let go. Letting go does not mean pushing things away. It means allowing them to be what they are and no more. To be there, but not take root. To visit, but not stay. Notice the next thought that arises. Maybe it's a memory. Maybe it's a sound. Maybe it's a flicker of language with no clear meaning. See it. Acknowledge it. And then let it dissolve like mist in morning sun. You don't need to follow it. You don't need to answer it. Just let it be part of the landscape of this moment. This moment where nothing is required, where your breath continues without instruction, where your body continues to soften second by second, breath by breath. Feel how far you've come from the noise of the day. The rhythm of your heart has slowed. Your limbs have grown heavy with release. Your mind, even if still a little active, no longer insists on being in charge. It begins to trust the quiet. This is not just rest. It is a returning to a part of you that existed long before thought, before identity, before plans. A part of you that listens without needing to speak, that breathes without effort, that exists without question. Sometimes we think of sleep as something we must reach, like a destination far away. But more often, it's something we return to, something already inside us, just waiting for the room to emerge. So make room now. Not by clearing space, but by becoming space. Let each breath widen you. Let each moment of stillness deepen you. You are the mountain, you are the field. You are the sky through which the clouds pass and pass and pass again. And still you remain quiet, soft, present. This is the path to peace. This is what the Master meant. Not a place you go, but a way of being. And you are being it now, without effort, without force. Only breath, only presence, only this. Somewhere in a monastery garden, long after the monks have gone to sleep, a single candle is left burning in a lantern box. The flame flickers gently, barely moving the shadows. It isn't there for light. It isn't meant to signal anything. It just burns, softly, quietly, without concern. This moment is like that candle. You don't need to shine brightly. You don't need to illuminate anything for anyone. You're allowed to rest quietly, just as you are. No one is watching. There is nothing to uphold. There's no list of things left undone that you need to worry about now. That list can wait. It belongs to the daylight. But this hour, this space, it belongs to something else. To restoration, to stillness, to the kind of quiet that heals not with answers, but with presence. Notice again how your breath moves now, how it barely registers, not because you're trying to slow it, but because it no longer needs to be managed. It's moving like the flame in the lantern, steady, small, alive. You've softened. Even if the mind still flickers from time to time, the body understands. It has entered the rhythm of letting go. Every breath out is a message to your whole being: you are safe, you are done, you may rest now. Let that message sink into your shoulders, into your chest, into your spine and your hips and your hands. Let it flow through your entire system, like warmth spreading under a heavy blanket. A comfort that doesn't need to explain itself. It just is. And perhaps beneath all of this, there's a deeper quiet waiting, a level of rest so gentle, so subtle, that you might not notice it unless you stop completely. Stop anticipating. Stop seeking sleep as a goal. Let sleep come not because you reached for it, but because you stopped resisting the space where it lives. This is where sleep begins. Not when the world disappears, but when you stop holding yourself apart from it. When you rejoin the stillness you came from. There's nothing you need to do to deserve this. Nothing to accomplish, nothing to perfect. It is already here. This comfort, this spaciousness, this gentle unfolding into night. Let your attention fade, like the final light behind a mountain. Let your thoughts soften into images, images into sensations, sensations into silence. Let your mind blur at the edges. Let your awareness become soft focus, vague, dreamlike, a watercolor of presence. The sense that everything is still happening, but nothing is asking anything of you. Not now, not here. You've crossed the boundary. You're on the other side of effort, and what you find here is not empty. It is full, full of peace, full of breath, full of a deep, undisturbed quiet that holds you as you drift. No more need for language, no more need for understanding. Only rest, only this, only now. There's a story passed down in quiet temples about a monk who carried a heavy bundle through a long, narrow path in the forest. When asked why he didn't set it down, he replied, "Because I forgot it wasn't part of me." Sometimes, the weight we carry isn't physical. It's made of thoughts, of worries, of roles we never meant to keep holding in our hands so tightly. And over time, we forget that we're allowed to release them. But here, now, In this soft and silent moment, you are being reminded. You are not your bundle. You are not your thoughts. You are not the tasks waiting on tomorrow's list. You are breath. You are warmth. You are here. And that's more than enough. As you lie there, feel the quiet growing. Not pushing out the noise. Not fighting the thoughts. But simply expanding until the noise no longer crowds you. Until the thoughts don't grip quite so tightly. Until everything begins to feel like something floating just above the surface. Your awareness is like the ocean now. Deep, vast. Calm beneath the movement above. Whatever passes through your mind, let it pass. You don't need to hold it. You don't need to follow. You are the ocean, not the wave. The bed beneath you supports your full weight. Your muscles no longer have to hold you up. Your bones no longer need to brace. Even your breath is supported, rising, falling effortlessly. That rise and fall is the rhythm of the body letting go. Let go with it. Let go of any names or labels you've carried today. Let go of who you thought you had to be. Let go of the small identities you held like armor. You are not the person being watched anymore. You are the one resting behind the scenes, quiet, safe, whole. And in this stillness, your body remembers something ancient, older than memory. It remembers how to restore itself, how to sink into the natural rhythm of night, how to dream without direction, how to heal without command. Let it do that now. Let the stillness guide you into a place where effort no longer matters, where perfection is a forgotten idea, where you don't need to earn anything, not even sleep. Feel the warmth of your body, the softness of the sheets, the calm that slowly surrounds each breath. You're being held, not just by the bed, but by the night itself. A great, quiet presence that asks nothing of you but your surrender. You don't need to rush towards sleep. You only need to stop turning away from it. Let it arrive gently, the way dawn arrives without being summoned. Let it cradle you, the way a slow song fills a silent room. Let it become the only thing there is. Soft breath, quiet body, open heart, and no more doing. Just this, just being. Just the slow, loving descent into rest. In a quiet village near the sea, there once lived a calligrapher who wrote only one word each day. He would sit before an open scroll, wait for his mind to settle, then lift his brush and release just a single word. When asked why he never hurried, he said, "One word written with presence holds more truth than 100 written in haste." That presence, that quiet devotion to now, is what you are practicing tonight. Not by doing, but by allowing, by resting into the silence, by letting go of the 100 thoughts and returning, again and again, to the one simple truth that lives in each breath. Let it be simple now. You do not have to sort the day. You do not have to resolve it. You don't need to retell it in your mind or figure out what you should have done. That part is done. The doing is over. Now comes the art of being. Breathe in gently. Let the air fill you without instruction. Then breathe out slow and unforced. Let the breath leave you, the way leaves fall from branches in autumn, naturally, freely, with grace. Your body understands this rhythm. It's been part of you since your first day on earth. You don't need to control it now. You just need to remember how to trust it. With each breath, the body softens just a little more. With each exhale, the mind releases another small layer of tension. You may feel thoughts still stirring, some louder than others. That's all right. Imagine each one like a bird resting briefly on a branch, then flying off again. You are not the branch. You are the sky. The bird comes. The bird goes. The sky remains. Let your awareness widen now, not outward into the world, but inward into the space of your own stillness, that deep, quiet place where nothing needs to be named. You might feel yourself drifting. The edge of sleep may begin to blur the shape of your thoughts. You don't need to resist it. Let it come like fog, slowly, steadily, covering the ground. Let it soften every detail. It's okay if you're not fully asleep yet. It's okay if you're just resting near the threshold. What matters is the surrender. What matters is that you're not holding anything. You're not trying to guide the process. You're simply here like the candle we spoke of earlier, steady, gentle, offering no more than what's natural. And that is enough. Let the room become background. Let the breath become foreground. Let your body be the center of warmth, wrapped in calm, unmoving, floating. You are part of something vast now. Not because you've done anything special, but because you've finally stopped running. You've allowed yourself to be still, and in stillness, everything opens. Sleep will find you here, not because you forced it, but because you've made yourself findable. You are not chasing peace, you are becoming peace. And that is the beginning of deep, nourishing rest. In the quiet halls of a Zen monastery, students are sometimes given tasks that seem, at first, meaningless. One such task, sweeping leaves in the wind, over and over again, knowing they will return. When a young monk once asked the teacher why they bothered, the master smiled and said, "It is not the clearing that matters. It is the sweeping. In your own way, you are sweeping now. Each breath, a gentle motion across the surface of your mind, not to eliminate all thoughts, not to create some perfect stillness, but simply to move with awareness, to show up, to participate in your own rest. That's what this moment is, a presence, a noticing, and it's enough. Notice how your body has grown even heavier now, the muscles completely surrendered, the breath so light, it's barely there. This is what it feels like when the body begins to sleep before the mind does. The physical self always knows when it's time. The mind only needs to catch up. So let it. Let the thoughts loosen their grip. You don't need to judge them. You don't even need to finish them. If they appear, greet them softly. Then let them fade, like old echoes in a deep canyon. They do not need your attention now. Your energy belongs to rest. You've carried enough through the day. Conversations, responsibilities, emotions you couldn't quite name, decisions, doubts. You've done what you could. And now the day is complete. It does not ask for more. It only asks to be laid down gently, just as the calligrapher placed his brush after one word, just as the candle flame bows and dims when its work is done. That's where you are now, at the end of the arc, at the place where everything begins to return to stillness. There is a kind of beauty in this stage, a sweetness that only comes when effort has finally stopped, when there is nothing left to reach for, nothing to perform, just the quiet joy of being without expectation. So let that joy expand within you. Let it move like warm water through the core of your being. Let it wrap around your spine, your chest, your arms, your legs. Let it fill you, not with doing, but with being. There is no need to go faster, no need to fix or change or push forward. The rhythm of your rest is perfect just as it is. If your thoughts return, welcome them kindly. Then walk them gently to the edge of your awareness. Let them stand there like visitors who don't need to come inside. You are the one who chooses now, and you choose quiet. You choose release. You choose to fall softly into the space that has been waiting for you all along. This is where you belong in this moment. Nowhere else, no other task, just this, just rest, just peace. Long ago, a Zen master sat by a river with a student who couldn't let go of a painful memory. The master pointed to a stick drifting in the water and said, "Do you see how the river carries it? It doesn't resist, it doesn't hold on, just moves." That's how you must treat your thoughts. Right now, as you lie still, that river flows through you. Your mind, once filled with chatter, has slowed. The thoughts may still pass through, like floating leaves or twigs, but you no longer need to reach for them. You can simply observe. Let them move soft and easy across the surface of your awareness. There is nothing to figure out now. No story that must be told to the end. No conclusion that has to be reached before rest can begin. All of that belongs to daylight. Tonight is something else. Tonight is water. Tonight is wind. Tonight is silence that speaks, not in words, but in presence. Let the sounds of the night become part of your comfort. The subtle hum, the distant hush, maybe even the rhythm of your own breath echoing gently. These are the lullabies of the world around you, simple, repeating, reassuring. You don't need to analyze them. You don't need to name them. Just feel the texture of sound dissolve into stillness. As your awareness drifts, you may notice small flashes, images from memory, moments from today, sensations without names. Let them come and go like a soft breeze brushing past you. You are under no obligation to hold any of them. Not now. Now is the time of ease. Now is the time of surrender. You have come far already, and there's nothing more to reach for. Let that settle deep inside your chest, this knowing that everything has been enough, that you, as you are right now, are complete. No more effort is needed, no more answers required, only breath, only peace. Imagine the earth beneath you. Vast, steady, unmoving. It holds you not because you asked, but because it always does. You don't need to do anything to be supported. You don't need to earn the right to be held. Feel that support in your bones, in your skin, in the still air that wraps gently around you. Let your breath remain slow and shallow, like the tide at low moon. Let your eyelids grow heavier, even if they've already closed. Let your whole body settle a little deeper into the quiet. And if a thought tries to rise, greet it kindly, then return to the stillness. There's nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you need to become. You are not behind, you are not late. You are here. And here is exactly where rest lives. So stay here, in this river of breath, this bed of silence, this vast, quiet night. In the heart of the mountain temple, there was a stone garden, just gravel and a few carefully placed rocks. Every morning, one monk would rake the gravel into patterns, spirals, lines, circles. The wind would erase it by nightfall, and yet each morning, the monk returned. When asked why, he said, "The pattern is not the point. The presence is. So it is with you now. There's nothing to perfect. No final shape you're supposed to reach before you sleep. There's no need to tidy every thought or settle every emotion. What matters is your presence in this moment, your willingness to be here, exactly as you are, without trying to be something else. Your breath, gentle and slow, is already the pattern, the rhythm of your own peaceful ceremony. Feel how easy it is now to rest inside your body, how natural it feels to be quiet, to soften, to drift. No more doing, just being. And even being doesn't require effort. It's what remains when all else is set down. Let that truth fill your chest like warm light. Let it move into your shoulders, your arms, your fingertips. Let it settle in your belly, low and quiet. Let it wash down your legs, across your feet, into the floor beneath you. You are not separate from the stillness. You are part of it. The night accepts you fully. You don't have to explain yourself to it. You don't have to prove that you've earned this peace. Just breathe. Let the breath be your lantern in the dark, not because it needs to lead anywhere, but because its flickering presence reminds you that you are alive, and that being alive is enough. You may feel yourself drifting even more now, drifting not away but inward, into the soft rooms of your own awareness, into the places where memory fades into dreams and dreams dissolve into silence. There is no door to walk through, no signal to tell you when sleep has begun. It just happens, like dusk becoming night. Let it happen. Let yourself slide slowly across that threshold. There's no need to carry anything across with you. Not the day's weight, not the mind's echoes, not even your name. All of that can stay behind. You're entering a place that requires nothing. It only offers, only welcomes, only holds. So go gently. Let your final thoughts tonight be like ripples that vanish on still water. Let them come and go without needing to follow. Let them be the last few leaves falling from the tree, and beneath that tree, stillness. And within that stillness, you, quiet, whole, somewhere beyond even the mountains and the stars. There's a story of a Zen monk who spent years chasing enlightenment. He read every sutra, sat for days in stillness, memorized koans until they haunted his sleep, but peace never stayed long. One evening, exhausted and frustrated, he gave up. He wandered into the woods, collapsed beside a stream, and wept. And in that moment, no striving, no effort, no goal, he felt it. Not as something he achieved, but something that had been there all along, waiting. Patient, like a quiet friend. That same peace waits within you now. It's not the kind of peace you earn. It's the kind you remember. The kind that rises when all pretending is gone. And all that's left is your breath, your heartbeat, your stillness. You don't need to be strong right now. You don't need to be wise or clever or brave. All of that belongs to daylight. This is the hour of softness. This is the hour of simply being. So sink deeper. Feel the way your body gives in finally to the gravity of the earth. The way your mind, no longer needing to solve or build or calculate, begins to float. You are not falling behind. You are falling into rhythm. With each slow breath, a door opens inside you, and behind it quiet, behind it warmth, behind it sleep. It may come slowly, like a tide that crawls across the sand, or it may come all at once, like nightfall in the forest. Either way, there's no need to rush it. Let yourself move toward it the way a child walks toward a parent's open arms, without doubt, without fear, only trust. You may still hear the echoes of the day, and that's okay. Even the loudest days end in silence. Even the busiest minds rest eventually. Just keep returning to the breath, that one faithful thread, weaving through the fabric of your awareness. It asks for nothing. It expects nothing. It just invites you home. Let your face relax. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands go slack. Let every part of you release, not all at once, but like petals opening in the dark. No spotlight, no ceremony, just quiet blooming. Let your breath be the only thing moving now. Slow, barely there. Enough. You are not waiting for anything now. You are not passing time. You are inhabiting this moment with all the fullness of someone who knows they have arrived. And in that arrival, there is rest. There is refuge. There is release. They say the moon never hurries, yet everything gets done. It moves through its phases, full, waning, new, waxing, with a rhythm that never rushes and never stops. That quiet, steady presence is not just above you. It's within you too. Your own rhythms are ancient. Your need for rest, for pause, for quiet. It is not a weakness. It is a returning. Like the moon returning to dark so it can rise again. Like the tide ebbing so it can flood. So, if tonight feels slow, or if stillness seems unfamiliar, that's all right. It's just a remembering. Your body knows how to do this. Your breath knows how to carry you. Even now, as your thoughts grow thinner, and the edges of your awareness grow soft, there is a kind of intelligence guiding everything. An intelligence that doesn't speak in words. It speaks in silence, in letting go, in the trust that when you finally release your grip, nothing falls apart. Everything finds its place. You've given much today. Even if your outer world was quiet, your inner world has moved mountains, and mountains need rest too. So let your internal landscape grow still. Let the wind inside you calm. Let the waters settle until the reflection is smooth and quiet. There is beauty in this quiet that can't be found anywhere else. Not in activity, not in excitement, only here, in the hush. Feel how your back meets the surface beneath you. How your breath moves without needing your help. How even now you are being lived. Cells regenerating, heartbeat steady. Your chest rising, falling. There's a grace in letting yourself be supported. In not needing to hold everything up. In surrendering, not as a loss, but as a wise offering. This moment asks for nothing but your presence. Even that loosely. You can be present without needing to hold on, like mist that touches the grass before disappearing. like sunlight that lingers, then fades. And if thoughts appear, that's okay. They are just weather, passing clouds. They will come and go. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to resist them. Let them float. Let them drift. You remain anchored, even as they move. Anchored in quiet. Anchored in trust. Anchored in the gentle rhythm that guides you through the last few doorways of waking. Toward a place where no effort follows you, where no story needs retelling, where everything simply is, and you, without armor, without pretense, without striving, are enough, right here, right now. Somewhere in the folds of history, a Zen teacher was asked, "What is the way to peace?" He smiled, held up a teacup, and said, "Empty your cup." And in that simple act was the whole teaching. Let go of what you're holding. Let go of what you think you need to carry. Make space, and peace will pour in on its own. Tonight you are that cup, and all that's needed now is space, not perfection, not clarity, not even understanding, just space to be. And in that space, a kind of quiet appears that doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need music or words. It doesn't need to be named. You feel it by what it leaves behind: softness, slowness, surrender. So take another breath now. Notice how even the breath has softened, become smaller, more still. Let that softness extend into your limbs. Let it unfurl in your spine. Let it smooth across your brow. Sleep often arrives when we stop asking it to come. So stop asking. Simply lie here, as if the world has nothing more to demand of you, because it doesn't. Your work, your worries, your wants, they've all stepped back. Now, there's just you in this moment, you and this breath, you and this slow dissolve into quiet. There is a rhythm older than your thoughts, deeper than your fears, more loyal than your anxieties. That rhythm is here now, brushing up against you like waves against the shore. Let it carry you, no need to swim, just float. Let the day drain out of you like water from a vessel. Let your name go, let your schedule go, let your questions go. None of it matters here. Not because it isn't real, but because it isn't needed right now. This is the hour of emptiness, the holy silence between chapters, where you don't have to know the plot, where you're allowed to forget the lines, because the page turns itself, and sleep, like a trusted storyteller, begins to write on the next one. Not with urgency, not with pressure, but with ease, with patience, with grace. You may feel your body get heavier now, your arms like warm stone, your breath like wind threading through tall grass. This is the final drift, the last exhale before the sky darkens completely. There's nothing more to reach for. You are already there. You have already arrived. There is a Zen parable about a man who carries a heavy sack of rice across a long mountain road. When asked why he doesn't put it down for a while, he replies, "If I stop, I might not pick it up again." But the old monk beside him says, "Then perhaps the burden isn't meant to be carried any longer." Tonight, as you lie here, ask yourself gently, what burdens have you been holding too long? What thoughts, responsibilities, or identities have you assumed out of habit, not need? You don't have to answer with words. Just let the question linger. Let it hover in the stillness between breaths. There's a kind of healing that doesn't happen through effort, but through allowing. Allowing the body to soften, allowing the thoughts to quiet, allowing the spirit to rest. That is your practice now, not effort, not fixing, not changing, just allowing. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Gently notice, and then return, not with force, but like returning to a familiar chair beside a fire. This is the sanctuary of the night, the hour when nothing is asked of you but being. No achieving, no explaining, no proving. All of that belongs to the noise of day. You are no longer in the marketplace. You are in the temple. And in the temple, even the most restless heart can find stillness. Feel how the edges of your awareness begin to blur, how the shapes of your thoughts lose form, how your breath feels like a tide receding farther from shore. Each exhale carries you deeper. Each pause between breaths is a quiet door opening. And beyond that door, only softness, only stillness, only the hush of sleep waiting to welcome you. There is no rush to enter, no deadline to meet, only the gentle invitation to let go just a little more, to surrender one more layer of thought, tension, identity, until what remains is something simple, something vast, something quiet and whole. This is not an ending. This is a return, back to yourself, back to breath, back to the peace that never left you. It only waited beneath the surface, like the moon waiting behind clouds, or the sky behind a storm. You don't have to chase it, just let it come to you. With each breath, with each beat, you are home. Some Zen teachers say that when you truly rest, you stop being a person and you become the sky. There's nothing to do, nothing to fix. You're not even a you. Just awareness, open wide and timeless. Feel that now, in the stillness around your breath, noticing without naming, sensing without grasping. There's no need to direct your attention. Let it drift like a feather on a soft breeze. A thought may pass, let it go. A memory may arise, let it dissolve. You are not those thoughts. You are not those memories. You are the space they pass through. Like a night sky that holds the stars, but does not cling to them. With each moment, your body grows heavier, like it's sinking gently into the safety of the earth beneath it. Like warm sand accepting your shape. Like a riverbed cradling the quiet current of sleep. You don't need to hold anything up anymore, not even your thoughts. Let your spine lengthen. Let your jaw release. Let your eyes soften behind closed lids. There is wisdom in this unraveling. A quiet truth whispered not in language, but in stillness. It says you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to stop holding the world together. The world knows how to hold itself. Just like your breath knows how to rise and fall. Just like the stars know how to shine without your watching. Just like your heart keeps beating, even when you've forgotten it's there. This is the grace of surrender, not giving up but giving in, to the rhythm, to the silence, to the unseen current that knows the way. There may be moments when the mind tries to return to thinking, to planning, to remembering. That's okay. It's what minds do. But you don't have to follow. You can stay here, where it's quiet, where the stillness is thick and warm, where you can let the thinking pass by like a distant train in the night. You can hear it, but it doesn't stop for you. You are not its passenger. You are the ground beneath it, still, strong, unmoving, and sleep is arriving now, not as a guest knocking, but as a tide rising around you, gentle, steady, undeniable. You don't need to welcome it. Just let it arrive. Let it take what it will, your thoughts, your stories, your names, and leave you with nothing but the peace of being breath, being stillness, being sky. Somewhere in a quiet village in the mountains, a Zen master once asked a student, "What sound does the moon make as it rises?" The student paused, confused, and the master smiled, saying, "Exactly. Not every question needs an answer. Not every moment needs to be filled. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to fix anything. You can just be here. Just this, just now. Breath slipping in, breath slipping out, as soft and steady as the tide. Even your thoughts now feel like they're dissolving before they can fully form. You are not pushing them away. You are not resisting. You are simply letting them fade, like fog under morning sun, like ripples settling on still water. There is no need to do anything else. If sleep wants to take you now, let it. If sleep waits a little longer, that's fine too. You are already resting. You are already enough. The stories of the day have ended. The roles you've played have been gently set down. No more tasks. Only this moment unfolding. Only this breath and the next. Each one a thread in a tapestry of stillness. You may remember an image, a moment, a person. Let it come and let it go. Nothing needs to stay. You are not a container to hold it all. You are the sky that everything passes through. A drifting leaf does not ask the wind where it's going. It simply rides. That is your invitation now. To float, to drift, to let go of direction, and simply be moved by the quiet rhythm of night. There is nothing to prepare for, nothing to perform. Only the luxury of surrender, only the grace of not needing to know. Let your breath move through your body like a lullaby sung without words. Let your limbs grow heavy. Let your heart grow light. This is not something you must achieve. It's already happening. Your body knows how to rest. Your mind knows how to soften. You don't have to teach them. Just trust them. As the minutes stretch like silk in the dark, you may notice the edges of awareness blur once more. The inner world expands, quiet and deep. There is space here for everything and nothing at all. And in that space, you are whole, just as you are, just as you've always been. A monk once asked his teacher, "What is the way?" The teacher answered, "Everyday mind is the way." The monk asked, "Should I direct myself toward it?" The teacher said, "If you try to direct yourself, you go away from it." The monk asked, "Then how can I know it?" The teacher replied, "The way is not something you can know. It's not in knowing or not knowing. In knowing, there is delusion. In not knowing, there is confusion. When you truly walk the way, it is as vast and boundless as the sky. How can it be discussed at all? And so it is with rest. You don't find it by searching. You don't reach it by effort. You rest by releasing the need to rest. You sleep by surrendering the need to sleep. You let the current carry you, and you stop trying to swim. This moment, this gentle unfolding is not a task. There's no timeline, no goal. There is only the invitation to be, to feel the breath drift in and out like a tide that has known this rhythm for thousands of years. To feel the body soften like soil after a long, warm rain. To feel the mind become vast like an open field, quiet and wide. All your stories dissolve into the distance now. What was once heavy grows light. What was once tangled begins to loosen. You're floating in a night without boundaries. A silence that welcomes everything and asks nothing of you. There are no edges here, no past to review, no future to prepare. Only this, the soft weight of your body, the hush between breaths, the spaciousness within the dark. Somewhere far away, a bird calls once in the night and then falls silent again. A leaf turns slowly in a breeze. A candle flickers behind your closed eyes. Images without meaning, sounds without grasping, and even those fade. Now you are the space in which these things arise and pass away. Now you are the witness that does not need to judge. You are stillness watching motion. You are silence welcoming sound. You are the one who is no longer trying to be anything. And in that release, you return to what you have always been, whole, resting, home. In a remote monastery nestled deep within the mountains, a young monk struggled with thoughts that would not settle. Night after night, while others rested peacefully, he sat beneath the trees, his mind racing, trying to solve the riddle of his own existence. One evening, he approached the old master and confessed, "Master, I meditate, I breathe, I sit for hours, but my mind will not quiet. I cannot find peace." The master looked at him with soft eyes and said, "Trying to calm your mind is like trying to flatten water with your hand. The more you try, the more it stirs." The monk looked confused. "Then what should I do?" "Let it settle by itself," the master said gently. "Leave it alone. Just sit beside it." And so the monk returned to his cushion beneath the trees. This time, he did not try to breathe more slowly. He didn't count the thoughts or judge the noise. He sat like a stone beside a river. The river moved. The river stilled, but he remained simply present. In that same way, you are invited now to stop smoothing the water. Let your breath be breath. Let your mind be mind. Let your heart be just as it is. You don't need to fix anything. Not in this moment. Because in this moment, there is no task, no role to play, no image to uphold, There is just the gentle recognition of being here, being aware, being enough. Let yourself lie down into this space as if it were the arms of the earth itself. Feel the weight of your limbs, the curve of your spine, the soft movement of your chest as it rises and falls. Like waves on a shore, each breath comes and goes without effort. Each sound in the distance comes and goes without resistance. Let your hearing remain open, wide, without grasping. Let your body drift down into the cushion or bed beneath you, as if you were slowly becoming part of it. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to know, no higher understanding needed tonight. Only this moment, only this being, and from this simplicity, a deeper wisdom arises, not as a thought, but as a quiet knowing in your bones. A knowing that you are held, that the sky will not fall if you let go, that the breath will go on breathing even if you do nothing, that life continues to move in perfect rhythm, even when you step back and rest. So go ahead, step back, rest. Give the world back to itself for a while. Give your thoughts back to the wind, give your worries to the stars, and become again what you truly are beneath it all, still, quiet, whole. Now imagine yourself walking through a quiet forest trail just after sunrise. The air is cool and fresh, still tinged with dew. You can hear the faint sound of birds greeting the morning with gentle songs. Each step you take presses softly into the earth, grounding you, anchoring you with each movement. You don't need to hurry. This path is here just for you. It leads nowhere in particular, because there is nowhere you need to go. Right now, the journey is the destination. You glance up. Light spills through the trees in golden shafts, catching on floating specks of dust. The scent of pine, the hush of leaves overhead, and the rhythm of your footsteps all become part of a slow, steady lullaby. You begin to notice your breath again, not because you're trying to, but because it's simply there, like a quiet companion walking beside you. In this forest, there are no clocks. Time stretches out like the path ahead, spacious and free, and in that openness, something inside you begins to soften. The tight grip of thinking loosens. The chest opens a little more. The stomach, may be clenched without you realizing, now relaxes. There is a gentle dropping down, as if your entire being is sinking, like roots into the soil of presence. You stop for a moment and sit on a low, mossy log. You let the stillness wrap around you. All the thoughts you've been carrying, all the plans and to-dos, slowly settle, like snow falling to the bottom of a glass globe. You don't push them away. You don't analyze them. You just watch them drift downward and land quietly. And then, just silence, a vast, clear silence that doesn't need to be filled. As you sit, you remember something very simple: you belong here. Not because of what you've done, not because you've achieved something, but because you exist, and that is enough. The trees do not strive to grow, they simply grow. The birds do not justify their singing, they simply sing. And you do not need to prove your worth in this moment. You are already part of the great unfolding, the great rhythm of things. So you let yourself be held by that rhythm. You let your breath rock you like a cradle, each inhale drawing in peace, each exhale letting go of effort. You may feel a warmth spreading across your chest or a heaviness in your limbs. You may feel nothing at all. Both are perfectly okay. There is no right way to be here, only your way. Let yourself remain here a little longer, surrounded by the embrace of the forest, the light and the stillness. Let it seep into you, like rain into dry earth. Let it nourish what's been weary. Let it water what's been waiting to bloom, and know that this quiet place is always within you. You can return here, not just in imagination, but in spirit, whenever you need. Take one more deep breath in and slowly let it go. Feel the ground beneath you again. Feel the body, its weight, its quiet power. Then gently, without rushing, begin to walk again. This time not to escape the moment, but to carry its stillness with you. There is great strength in softness. There is great wisdom in silence. There is great love in being fully here. As the light in the forest continues to shift, the sun rising just a little higher, the warmth of the morning begins to touch your skin. You walk on now with a quieter mind, with softer eyes. The pace is easy. The world does not demand anything of you here. The breeze rustles through the leaves above, a sound like a whispered song that has no words, yet somehow speaks directly to your heart. You breathe it in. A squirrel leaps across a branch and pauses. It's not afraid. It simply observes you, and you observe it. Two beings present in the same moment, sharing the same quiet world. Then, without drama, it moves on. You smile and keep walking. The forest opens up ahead, revealing a still pond. Its surface is like glass, mirroring the sky, the trees, and the gentle flutter of dragonfly wings. You move toward the edge and kneel. The water holds everything. It doesn't resist what falls into it. Leaves drift down and land gently. The water makes room. You watch as the reflections shift and shimmer, responding but never resisting. This too is a kind of wisdom. You see your own reflection and pause. Not with judgment, not with criticism, just curiosity. You meet your own gaze, softened by the light, and perhaps for a moment, you see beyond the surface. You see the quiet beneath your own expression. You see a soul that has known joy and sorrow and change. You see the gentle resilience that has brought you to this moment. And maybe, just maybe, you feel a flicker of compassion, not just for yourself today, but for all the versions of you who've ever tried, struggled, and hoped. You reach out and ripple the water with your fingers. The image wavers. The reflection dances. Nothing is fixed, and that's okay. It is all in motion. Just like you, just like this life. You sit at the edge for a while longer, letting that truth sink in. There is nothing to fix, nothing to force. The pond is not trying to be still, it simply is. And in its stillness, it reflects everything, without judgment, without grasping. You are beginning to feel the same way. From here, you rise slowly and begin walking again, leaving the water behind, but taking its stillness with you. And as you walk, a soft memory comes to mind. Perhaps it's of someone you once loved, someone you still do. Maybe it's someone you lost or someone who changed you. You don't try to hold on to the memory. You simply allow it to rise like a bird in flight. You acknowledge it, breathe with it, and let it go. It does not need to be controlled. With every step now, you are practicing release. You are allowing what comes to come. You are allowing what goes to go. This is not forgetting. This is not giving up. This is trust. The quiet kind, the kind that grows from surrender, not from force. A gust of wind moves through the trees, carrying the scent of something faintly sweet. Maybe wildflowers, maybe wet bark. You close your eyes and let the scent carry you somewhere for a moment, to a place in memory or imagination. And when you open them again, the present welcomes you back gently, like a home you never really left. Somewhere in the distance, a bell sounds, not loud, not insistent, just a single chime, like the echo of a temple far away. It doesn't mark time. It simply reminds you that you are here, alive, breathing, being, that's all. And that is enough.